He's 9 for 17 in his last 5, raising his average 59 points after yesterday's 4 for 4. Daisuke likes that. He's been the beneficiary of 20 runs of support over his last 3 starts, giving him 2 wins in that span. An injury note, Kevin Youkilis is on hiatus after being drilled in the left knee by Casey Janssen last night. He left the game listed as day-to-day. Toronto has plummeted to the bottom of the American League East, 8.5 games behind Boston. The 7-game losing streak matches their longest from last season. They're trying to avoid losing 8 in a row for the first time since a 9-game losing streak back in 2002. It's the Red Sox and Blue Jays, a Japanese matchup. It's Matsuzaka versus Oka. First pitch, 7:07 in Toronto. You can see it live on MLB.TV beginning at 7 Eastern. With their second straight win, the Boston Red Sox hold on to the American League's best record for a day longer. They send Daisuke Matsuzaka to the mound for Game 2 of their 3-game set against the Toronto Blue Jays' Tomo Oka. First pitch 7:07 at the Rogers Center. Josh Beckett gave up a homer on his first pitch last night, then settled down to become baseball's first 7-game winner. He went 7 strong, scattering 5 hits, striking out 5, walking just 1. He was supported by 4 Boston homers, including back-to-back jacks by Mike Lowell and Jason Varitek. Alex Rios scored Toronto's only run with a bomb to center. The Blue Jays handed their 7th straight loss, now in sole possession of last place in the East. Daisuke has hit a speed bump after compiling a 2.7 ERA in his first 3 starts. He's now allowed 17 runs over 18 innings with 10 walks and 3 hit batsmen in his last 3. Thursday against Seattle, he gave up 5 first-inning runs before recovering to last 5, finishing with 7 runs and 1 strikeout. That's a career low. Righty Tomo Oka will be making his 3rd start of 2007 against Boston tonight. He's 1-1 with a 4.77 ERA thus far. It's an important game for Oka. His 50 wins rank him 2nd in Major League history among Japanese pitchers, but he's not nearly as revered as Hideki Okajima, the wins leader, or the new guy, Daisuke Matsuzaka. He's coming off his worst start of 2007, 6 runs in 7 innings of a 7-1 loss against the Rangers. The Red Sox have won 9 of their last 12, Jason Varitek integral to it. He's 9 for 17 in his last 5, raising his average 59 points after yesterday's 4 for 4. Daisuke likes that. He's been the beneficiary of 20 runs of support over his last 3 starts, giving him 2 wins in that span. An injury note, Kevin Youkilis is on hiatus after being drilled in the left knee by Casey Janssen last night. He left the game listed as day-to-day. Toronto has plummeted to the bottom of the American League East, 8.5 games behind Boston. The 7-game losing streak matches their longest from last season. They're trying to avoid losing 8 in a row for the first time since a 9-game losing streak back in 2002. It's the Red Sox and Blue Jays, a Japanese matchup. It's Matsuzaka versus Oka. First pitch, 7:07 in Toronto. You can see it live on MLB.TV beginning at 7 Eastern. With their second straight win, the Boston Red Sox hold on to the American League's best record for a day longer. They send Daisuke Matsuzaka to the mound for Game 2 of their 3-game set against the Toronto Blue Jays' Tomo Oka. First pitch 7:07 at the Rogers Center. Josh Beckett gave up a homer on his first pitch last night, then settled down to become baseball's first 7-game winner. He went 7 strong, scattering 5 hits, striking out 5, walking just 1. He was supported by 4 Boston homers, including back-to-back jacks by Mike Lowell and Jason Varitek. Alex Rios scored Toronto's only run with a bomb to center. The Blue Jays handed their 7th straight loss, now in sole possession of last place in the East. Daisuke has hit a speed bump after compiling a 2.7 ERA in his first 3 starts. He's now allowed 17 runs over 18 innings with 10 walks and 3 hit batsmen in his last 3. Thursday against Seattle, he gave up 5 first-inning runs before recovering to last 5, finishing with 7 runs and 1 strikeout. That's a career low. Righty Tomo Oka will be making his 3rd start of 2007 against Boston tonight. He's 1-1 with a 4.77 ERA thus far. It's an important game for Oka. His 50 wins rank him 2nd in Major League history among Japanese pitchers, but he's not nearly as revered as Hideki Okajima, the wins leader, or the new guy, Daisuke Matsuzaka. He's coming off his worst start of 2007, 6 runs in 7 innings of a 7-1 loss against the Rangers. The Red Sox have won 9 of their last 12. Jason Varitek integral to it. He's 9 for 17 in his last 5, raising his average 59 points after yesterday's 4 for 4. Daisuke likes that. He's been the beneficiary of 20 runs of support over his last 3 starts, giving him 2 wins in that span. An injury note, Kevin Youkilis is on hiatus after being drilled in the left knee by Casey Janssen last night. He left the game listed as day-to-day. Toronto has plummeted to the bottom of the American League East, 8.5 games behind Boston. The 7-game losing streak matches their longest from last season. They're trying to avoid losing 8 in a row for the first time since a 9-game losing streak back in 2002. It's the Red Sox and Blue Jays, a Japanese matchup. It's Matsuzaka versus Oka. First pitch, 7:07 in Toronto. You can see it live on MLB.TV beginning at 7 Eastern. With their second straight win, the Boston Red Sox hold on to the American League's best record for a day longer. They send Daisuke Matsuzaka to the mound for Game 2 of their 3-game set against the Toronto Blue Jays' Tomooka. First pitch 7:07 at the Rogers Center. Josh Beckett gave up a homer on his first pitch last night, then settled down to become baseball's first 7-game winner. He went 7 strong, scattering 5 hits, striking out 5, walking just 1. He was supported by 4 Boston homers, including back-to-back jacks by Mike Lowell and Jason Varitek. Alex Rios scored Toronto's only run with a bomb to center. The Blue Jays handed their 7th straight loss, now in sole possession of last place in the East. Daisuke has hit a speed bump after compiling a 2.7 ERA in his first 3 starts. He's now allowed 17 runs over 18 innings with 10 walks and 3 hit batsmen in his last 3. Thursday against Seattle, he gave up 5 first-inning runs before recovering to last 5, finishing with 7 runs and 1 strikeout. That's a career low. Righty Tomooka will be making his 3rd start of 2007 against Boston tonight. He's 1-1 with a 4.77 ERA thus far. It's an important game for Oka. His 50 wins rank him 2nd in Major League history among Japanese pitchers, but he's not nearly as revered as Hideki Okajima, the wins leader, or the new guy, Daisuke Matsuzaka. He's coming off his worst start of 2007, 6 runs in 7 innings of a 7-1 loss against the Rangers. The Red Sox have won 9 of their last 12. Jason Varitek integral to it. He's 9 for 17 in his last 5, raising his average 59 points after yesterday's 4 for 4. Daisuke likes that. He's been the beneficiary of 20 runs of support over his last 3 starts, giving him 2 wins in that span. An injury note, Kevin Youkilis is on hiatus after being drilled in the left knee by Casey Janssen last night. He left the game listed as day-to-day. Toronto has plummeted to the bottom of the American League East, 8.5 games behind Boston. The 7-game losing streak matches their longest from last season. They're trying to avoid losing 8 in a row for the first time since a 9-game losing streak back in 2002. It's the Red Sox and Blue Jays, a Japanese matchup. It's Matsuzaka versus Oka. First pitch, 7:07 in Toronto. You can see it live on MLB.TV beginning at 7 Eastern. With their second straight win, the Boston Red Sox hold on to the American League's best record for a day longer. They send Daisuke Matsuzaka to the mound for Game 2 of their 3-game set against the Toronto Blue Jays' Tomooka. First pitch 7:07 at the Rogers Center. Josh Beckett gave up a homer on his first pitch last night, then settled down to become baseball's first 7-game winner. He went 7 strong, scattering 5 hits, striking out 5, walking just 1. He was supported by 4 Boston homers, including back-to-back jacks by Mike Lowell and Jason Varitek. Alex Rios scored Toronto's only run with a bomb to center. The Blue Jays handed their 7th straight loss, now in sole possession of last place in the East. Daisuke has hit a speed bump after compiling a 2.7 ERA in his first 3 starts. He's now allowed 17 runs over 18 innings with 10 walks and 3 hit batsmen in his last 3. Thursday against Seattle, he gave up 5 first-inning runs before recovering to last 5, finishing with 7 runs and 1 strikeout. That's a career low. Righty Tomooka will be making his 3rd start of 2007 against Boston tonight. He's 1-1 with a 4.77 ERA thus far. It's an important game for Oka. His 50 wins rank him 2nd in Major League history among Japanese pitchers, but he's not nearly as revered as Hideki Okajima, the wins leader, or the new guy, Daisuke Matsuzaka. He's coming off his worst start of 2007, 6 runs in 7 innings of a 7-1 loss against the Rangers. The Red Sox have won 9 of their last 12. Jason Varitek integral to it. He's 9 for 17 in his last 5, raising his average 59 points after yesterday's 4 for 4. Daisuke likes that. He's been the beneficiary of 20 runs of support over his last 3 starts, giving him 2 wins in that span. An injury note, Kevin Youkilis is on hiatus after being drilled in the left knee by Casey Janssen last night. He left the game listed as day-to-day. Toronto has plummeted to the bottom of the American League East, 8.5 games behind Boston. The 7-game losing streak matches their longest from last season. They're trying to avoid losing 8 in a row for the first time since a 9-game losing streak back in 2002. It's the Red Sox and Blue Jays, a Japanese matchup. It's Matsuzaka versus Oka. First pitch, 7:07 in Toronto. You can see it live on MLB.TV beginning at 7 Eastern. With their second straight win, the Boston Red Sox hold on to the American League's best record for a day longer. They send Daisuke Matsuzaka to the mound for Game 2 of their 3-game set against the Toronto Blue Jays' Tomo Oka. First pitch, 7:07 at the Rogers Center. Josh Beckett gave up a homer on his first pitch last night, then settled down to become baseball's first 7-game winner. He went 7 strong, scattering 5 hits, striking out 5, walking just 1. He was supported by 4 Boston homers, including back-to-back jacks by Mike Lowell and Jason Varitek. Alex Rios scored Toronto's only run with a bomb to center. The Blue Jays handed their 7th straight loss, now in sole possession of last place in the East. Daisuke has hit a speed bump after compiling a 2.7 ERA in his first 3 starts. He's now allowed 17 runs over 18 innings with 10 walks and 3 hit batsmen in his last 3. Thursday against Seattle, he gave up 5 first-inning runs before recovering to last 5, finishing with 7 runs and 1 strikeout. That's a career low. Righty Tomo Oka will be making his 3rd start of 2007 against Boston tonight. He's 1-1 with a 4.77 ERA thus far. It's an important game for Oka. His 50 wins rank him 2nd in Major League history among Japanese pitchers, but he's not nearly as revered as Hideki Okajima, the wins leader, or the new guy, Daisuke Matsuzaka. He's coming off his worst start of 2007, 6 runs in 7 innings of a 7-1 loss against the Rangers. The Red Sox have won 9 of their last 12. Jason Varitek integral to it. He's 9 for 17 in his last 5, raising his average 59 points after yesterday's 4 for 4. Daisuke likes that. He's been the beneficiary of 20 runs of support over his last 3 starts, giving him 2 wins in that span. An injury note, Kevin Youkilis is on hiatus after being drilled in the left knee by Casey Janssen last night. He left the game listed as day-to-day. Toronto has plummeted to the bottom of the American League East, 8.5 games behind Boston. The 7-game losing streak matches their longest from last season. They're trying to avoid losing 8 in a row for the first time since a 9-game losing streak back in 2002. It's the Red Sox and Blue Jays, a Japanese matchup. It's Matsuzaka versus Oka. First pitch, 7:07 in Toronto. You can see it live on MLB.TV beginning at 7 Eastern. With their second straight win, the Boston Red Sox hold on to the American League's best record for a day longer. They send Daisuke Matsuzaka to the mound for Game 2 of their 3-game set against the Toronto Blue Jays' Tomo Oka. First pitch, 7:07 at the Rogers Center. Josh Beckett gave up a homer on his first pitch last night, then settled down to become baseball's first 7-game winner. He went 7 strong, scattering 5 hits, striking out 5, walking just 1. He was supported by 4 Boston homers, including back-to-back jacks by Mike Lowell and Jason Varitek. Alex Rios scored Toronto's only run with a bomb to center. The Blue Jays handed their 7th straight loss, now in sole possession of last place in the East. Daisuke has hit a speed bump after compiling a 2.7 ERA in his first 3 starts. He's now allowed 17 runs over 18 innings with 10 walks and 3 hit batsmen in his last 3. Thursday against Seattle, he gave up 5 first-inning runs before recovering to last 5, finishing with 7 runs and 1 strikeout. That's a career low. Righty Tomo Oka will be making his 3rd start of 2007 against Boston tonight. He's 1-1 with a 4.77 ERA thus far. It's an important game for Oka. His 50 wins rank him 2nd in Major League history among Japanese pitchers, but he's not nearly as revered as Hideki Okajima, the wins leader, or the new guy, Daisuke Matsuzaka. He's coming off his worst start of 2007, 6 runs in 7 innings of a 7-1 loss against the Rangers. The Red Sox have won 9 of their last 12. Jason Varitek integral to it. He's 9 for 17 in his last 5, raising his average 59 points after yesterday's 4 for 4. Daisuke likes that. He's been the beneficiary of 20 runs of support over his last 3 starts, giving him 2 wins in that span. An injury note, Kevin Youkilis is on hiatus after being drilled in the left knee by Casey Janssen last night. He left the game listed as day-to-day. Toronto has plummeted to the bottom of the American League East, 8.5 games behind Boston. The 7-game losing streak matches their longest from last season. They're trying to avoid losing 8 in a row for the first time since a 9-game losing streak back in 2002. It's the Red Sox and Blue Jays, a Japanese matchup. It's Matsuzaka versus Oka. First pitch, 7:07 in Toronto. You can see it live on MLB.TV beginning at 7 Eastern. With their second straight win, the Boston Red Sox hold on to the American League's best record for a day longer. They send Daisuke Matsuzaka to the mound for Game 2 of their 3-game set against the Toronto Blue Jays' Tomo Oka. First pitch 7:07 at the Rogers Center. Josh Beckett gave up a homer on his first pitch last night, then settled down to become baseball's first 7-game winner. He went 7 strong, scattering 5 hits, striking out 5, walking just 1. He was supported by 4 Boston homers, including back-to-back jacks by Mike Lowell and Jason Varitek. Alex Rios scored Toronto's only run with a bomb to center. The Blue Jays handed their 7th straight loss, now in sole possession of last place in the East. Daisuke has hit a speed bump after compiling a 2.7 ERA in his first 3 starts. He's now allowed 17 runs over 18 innings with 10 walks and 3 hit batsmen in his last 3. Thursday against Seattle, he gave up 5 first-inning runs before recovering to last 5, finishing with 7 runs and 1 strikeout. That's a career low. Righty Tomo Oka will be making his 3rd start of 2007 against Boston tonight. He's 1-1 with a 4.77 ERA thus far. It's an important game for Oka. His 50 wins rank him 2nd in Major League history among Japanese pitchers, but he's not nearly as revered as Hideki Okajima, the wins leader, or the new guy, Daisuke Matsuzaka. He's coming off his worst start of 2007, 6 runs in 7 innings of a 7-1 loss against the Rangers. The Red Sox have won 9 of their last 12. Jason Varitek integral to it. He's 9 for 17 in his last 5, raising his average 59 points after yesterday's 4 for 4. Daisuke likes that. He's been the beneficiary of 20 runs of support over his last 3 starts, giving him 2 wins in that span. An injury note, Kevin Youkilis is on hiatus after being drilled in the left knee by Casey Janssen last night. He left the game listed as day-to-day. Toronto has plummeted to the bottom of the American League East, 8.5 games behind Boston. The 7-game losing streak matches their longest from last season. They're trying to avoid losing 8 in a row for the first time since a 9-game losing streak back in 2002. It's the Red Sox and Blue Jays, a Japanese matchup. It's Matsuzaka versus Oka. First pitch, 7:07 in Toronto. You can see it live on MLB.TV beginning at 7 Eastern. With their 2nd straight win, the Boston Red Sox hold on to the American League's best record for a day longer. They send Daisuke Matsuzaka to the mound for Game 2 of their 3-game set against the Toronto Blue Jays' Tomo Oka. First pitch 7:07 at the Rogers Center. Josh Beckett gave up a homer on his first pitch last night, then settled down to become baseball's first 7-game winner. He went 7 strong, scattering 5 hits, striking out 5, walking just 1. He was supported by 4 Boston homers, including back-to-back jacks by Mike Lowell and Jason Varitek. Alex Rios scored Toronto's only run with a bomb to center. The Blue Jays handed their 7th straight loss, now in sole possession of last place in the East. Daisuke has hit a speed bump after compiling a 2.7 ERA in his first 3 starts. He's now allowed 17 runs over 18 innings with 10 walks and 3 hit batsmen in his last 3. Thursday against Seattle, he gave up 5 first-inning runs before recovering to last 5, finishing with 7 runs and 1 strikeout. That's a career low. Righty Tomo Oka will be making his 3rd start of 2007 against Boston tonight. He's 1-1 with a 4.77 ERA thus far. It's an important game for Oka. His 50 wins rank him 2nd in Major League history among Japanese pitchers, but he's not nearly as revered as Hideki Okajima, the wins leader, or the new guy, Daisuke Matsuzaka. He's coming off his worst start of 2007, 6 runs in 7 innings of a 7-1 loss against the Rangers. The Red Sox have won 9 of their last 12. Jason Varitek integral to it. He's 9 for 17 in his last 5, raising his average 59 points after yesterday's 4 for 4. Daisuke likes that. He's been the beneficiary of 20 runs of support over his last 3 starts, giving him 2 wins in that span. An injury note, Kevin Youkilis is on hiatus after being drilled in the left knee by Casey Janssen last night. He left the game listed as day-to-day. Toronto has plummeted to the bottom of the American League East, 8.5 games behind Boston. The 7-game losing streak matches their longest from last season. They're trying to avoid losing 8 in a row for the first time since a 9-game losing streak back in 2002. It's the Red Sox and Blue Jays, a Japanese matchup. It's Matsuzaka versus Oka. First pitch, 7:07 in Toronto. You can see it live on MLB.TV beginning at 7 Eastern. With their second straight win, the Boston Red Sox hold on to the American League's best record for a day longer. They send Daisuke Matsuzaka to the mound for Game 2 of their 3-game set against the Toronto Blue Jays' Tomooka. First pitch 7:07 at the Rogers Center. Josh Beckett gave up a homer on his first pitch last night, then settled down to become baseball's first 7-game winner. He went 7 strong, scattering 5 hits, striking out 5, walking just 1. He was supported by 4 Boston homers, including back-to-back jacks by Mike Lowell and Jason Varitek. Alex Rios scored Toronto's only run with a bomb to center. The Blue Jays handed their 7th straight loss, now in sole possession of last place in the East. Daisuke has hit a speed bump after compiling a 2.7 ERA in his first 3 starts. He's now allowed 17 runs over 18 innings with 10 walks and 3 hit batsmen in his last 3. Thursday against Seattle, he gave up 5 first-inning runs before recovering to last 5, finishing with 7 runs and 1 strikeout. That's a career low. Righty Tomooka will be making his 3rd start of 2007 against Boston tonight. He's 1-1 with a 4.77 ERA thus far. It's an important game for Oka. His 50 wins rank him 2nd in Major League history among Japanese pitchers, but he's not nearly as revered as Hideki Okajima, the wins leader, or the new guy, Daisuke Matsuzaka. He's coming off his worst start of 2007, 6 runs in 7 innings of a 7-1 loss against the Rangers. The Red Sox have won 9 of their last 12. Jason Varitek integral to it. He's 9 for 17 in his last 5, raising his average 59 points after yesterday's 4 for 4. Daisuke likes that. He's been the beneficiary of 20 runs of support over his last 3 starts, giving him 2 wins in that span. An injury note, Kevin Youkilis is on hiatus after being drilled in the left knee by Casey Janssen last night. He left the game listed as day-to-day. Toronto has plummeted to the bottom of the American League East, 8.5 games behind Boston. The 7-game losing streak matches their longest from last season. They're trying to avoid losing 8 in a row for the first time since a 9-game losing streak back in 2002. It's the Red Sox and Blue Jays, a Japanese matchup. It's Matsuzaka versus Oka. First pitch, 7:07 in Toronto. You can see it live on MLB.TV beginning at 7 Eastern. With their second straight win, the Boston Red Sox hold on to the American League's best record for a day longer. They send Daisuke Matsuzaka to the mound for Game 2 of their 3-game set against the Toronto Blue Jays' Tomooka. First pitch 7:07 at the Rogers Center. Josh Beckett gave up a homer on his first pitch last night, then settled down to become baseball's first 7-game winner. He went 7 strong, scattering 5 hits, striking out 5, walking just 1. He was supported by 4 Boston homers, including back-to-back jacks by Mike Lowell and Jason Varitek. Alex Rios scored Toronto's only run with a bomb to center. The Blue Jays handed their 7th straight loss, now in sole possession of last place in the East. Daisuke has hit a speed bump after compiling a 2.7 ERA in his first 3 starts. He's now allowed 17 runs over 18 innings with 10 walks and 3 hit batsmen in his last 3. Thursday against Seattle, he gave up 5 first-inning runs before recovering to last 5, finishing with 7 runs and 1 strikeout. That's a career low. Righty Tomooka will be making his 3rd start of 2007 against Boston tonight. He's 1-1 with a 4.77 ERA thus far. It's an important game for Oka. His 50 wins rank him 2nd in Major League history among Japanese pitchers, but he's not nearly as revered as Hideki Okajima, the wins leader, or the new guy, Daisuke Matsuzaka. He's coming off his worst start of 2007, 6 runs in 7 innings of a 7-1 loss against the Rangers. The Red Sox have won 9 of their last 12. Jason Varitek integral to it. He's 9 for 17 in his last 5, raising his average 59 points after yesterday's 4 for 4. Daisuke likes that. He's been the beneficiary of 20 runs of support over his last 3 starts, giving him 2 wins in that span. An injury note, Kevin Youkilis is on hiatus after being drilled in the left knee by Casey Janssen last night. He left the game listed as day-to-day. Toronto has plummeted to the bottom of the American League East, 8.5 games behind Boston. The 7-game losing streak matches their longest from last season. They're trying to avoid losing 8 in a row for the first time since a 9-game losing streak back in 2002. It's the Red Sox and Blue Jays, a Japanese matchup. It's Matsuzaka versus Oka. First pitch, 7:07 in Toronto. You can see it live on MLB.TV beginning at 7 Eastern. With their second straight win, the Boston Red Sox hold on to the American League's best record for a day longer. They send Daisuke Matsuzaka to the mound for Game 2 of their 3-game set against the Toronto Blue Jays' Tomooka. First pitch 7:07 at the Rogers Center. Josh Beckett gave up a homer on his first pitch last night, then settled down to become baseball's first 7-game winner. He went 7 strong, scattering 5 hits, striking out 5, walking just 1. He was supported by 4 Boston homers, including back-to-back jacks by Mike Lowell and Jason Varitek. Alex Rios scored Toronto's only run with a bomb to center. The Blue Jays handed their 7th straight loss, now in sole possession of last place in the East. Daisuke has hit a speed bump after compiling a 2.7 ERA in his first 3 starts. He's now allowed 17 runs over 18 innings with 10 walks and 3 hit batsmen in his last 3. Thursday against Seattle, he gave up 5 first-inning runs before recovering to last 5, finishing with 7 runs and 1 strikeout. That's a career low. Righty Tomooka will be making his 3rd start of 2007 against Boston tonight. He's 1-1 with a 4.77 ERA thus far. It's an important game for Oka. His 50 wins rank him 2nd in Major League history among Japanese pitchers, but he's not nearly as revered as Hideki Okajima, the wins leader, or the new guy, Daisuke Matsuzaka. He's coming off his worst start of 2007, 6 runs in 7 innings of a 7-1 loss against the Rangers. The Red Sox have won 9 of their last 12. Jason Varitek integral to it. He's 9 for 17 in his last 5, raising his average 59 points after yesterday's 4 for 4. Daisuke likes that. He's been the beneficiary of 20 runs of support over his last 3 starts, giving him 2 wins in that span. An injury note, Kevin Youkilis is on hiatus after being drilled in the left knee by Casey Janssen last night. He left the game listed as day-to-day. Toronto has plummeted to the bottom of the American League East, 8.5 games behind Boston. The 7-game losing streak matches their longest from last season. They're trying to avoid losing 8 in a row for the first time since a 9-game losing streak back in 2002. It's the Red Sox and Blue Jays, a Japanese matchup. It's Matsuzaka versus Oka. First pitch, 7:07 in Toronto. You can see it live on MLB.TV beginning at 7 Eastern. With their 2nd straight win, the Boston Red Sox hold on to the American League's best record for a day longer. They send Daisuke Matsuzaka to the mound for Game 2 of their 3-game set against the Toronto Blue Jays' Tomooka. First pitch 7:07 at the Rogers Center. Josh Beckett gave up a homer on his first pitch last night, then settled down to become baseball's first 7-game winner. He went 7 strong, scattering 5 hits, striking out 5, walking just 1. He was supported by 4 Boston homers, including back-to-back jacks by Mike Lowell and Jason Varitek. Alex Rios scored Toronto's only run with a bomb to center. The Blue Jays handed their 7th straight loss, now in sole possession of last place in the East. Daisuke has hit a speed bump after compiling a 2.7 ERA in his first 3 starts. He's now allowed 17 runs over 18 innings with 10 walks and 3 hit batsmen in his last 3. Thursday against Seattle, he gave up 5 first-inning runs before recovering to last 5, finishing with 7 runs and 1 strikeout. That's a career low. Righty Tomooka will be making his 3rd start of 2007 against Boston tonight. He's 1-1 with a 4.77 ERA thus far. It's an important game for Oka. His 50 wins rank him 2nd in Major League history among Japanese pitchers, but he's not nearly as revered as Hideki Okajima, the wins leader, or the new guy, Daisuke Matsuzaka. He's coming off his worst start of 2007, 6 runs in 7 innings of a 7-1 loss against the Rangers. The Red Sox have won 9 of their last 12. Jason Varitek integral to it. He's 9 for 17 in his last 5, raising his average 59 points after yesterday's 4 for 4. Daisuke likes that. He's been the beneficiary of 20 runs of support over his last 3 starts, giving him 2 wins in that span. An injury note, Kevin Youkilis is on hiatus after being drilled in the left knee by Casey Janssen last night. He left the game listed as day-to-day. Toronto has plummeted to the bottom of the American League East, 8.5 games behind Boston. The 7-game losing streak matches their longest from last season. They're trying to avoid losing 8 in a row for the first time since a 9-game losing streak back in 2002. It's the Red Sox and Blue Jays, a Japanese matchup. It's Matsuzaka versus Oka. First pitch, 7:07 in Toronto. You can see it live on MLB.tv.
Boston Red Sox baseball on NESN is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, the New England Subaru dealers, Foxwoods Resort Casino, your Lincoln Mercury dealers, Killian's, Pepsi, and by New England Toyota dealers. Now look at Toronto from across the bay as the Red Sox and Toronto Blue Jays get ready for Game 2 of this 3-game series. Now welcome inside Rogers Center, where the roof is open tonight. Second straight night that it has been open. The Red Sox lineup is brought to you by New England Dodge dealers. Leading it off for the Red Sox is Julio Lugo at shortstop, Coco Crisp out in center field, David Ortiz, a designated hitter, Manny Ramirez in left field, J.D. Drew in right, Mike Lowell at third base, Jason Varitek does the catching, Eric Kinski is in there tonight at first base, he bats eighth, and Dustin Pedroia at second base bats ninth. The starting pitcher is brought to you by Panasonic, and on the mound tonight for the Blue Jays is Tomo Oka.
Well, this will be start number 7 on the season for Oka. He is 2-3 with a 5.50 ERA. A lot of hits, 39 hits in 36 innings. He's walked 12, only struck out 13. Opponents hitting .275. 2 starts so far this year against the Red Sox. He picked up a win at Fenway Park and a loss right here at the Rogers Center. And you see the numbers in the 2 starts, 1-1 with a 4.76 ERA against Boston. The Toronto defense is brought to you by New England Ford dealers. They are 8th in the league with 21 errors in 32 games. Troy Glass will be at third base. John McDonald, the shortstop. Aaron Hill at second. And Lyle Overbay at first. Left to right, Adam Lynn. Vernon Wells, Gold Glove winner 4 times. Alex Rios, the right fielder. And Sal Fasano doing the catching tonight for Tomo Oka.
Jerry Davis has a plate for the umpires tonight. Mike Everett at first base, Paul Noward at second base, and Brian Gorman, the umpire, at third. Where available, this telecast can be heard in Spanish by selecting the SAP button on your television remote. Enjoy the game.
Buenas noches, amigos.
Well, very comfortable conditions tonight in Toronto. Tomo Oka ready to throw the game's first pitch. We go out after it, lifts the fly ball to left field. Now the center fielder comes over, and Vernon Wells able to make the catch.
And of course, with 2 Japanese pitchers on the mound tonight, highly publicized game back in Japan. So Nippon no Minisama, Ohio gozaimasu.
Well, Daisuke get himself prepared. It has been a different week for him in between starts. Trying to do some different things to return to some of the consistency that he is used to. See how it plays out tonight against this pretty good Toronto Blue Jays lineup as Coco Crisp stands in and takes ball 1 from Tomo Oka.
Kind of interesting, Don. You were telling me prior to the game that Oka is a little bit bitter because he doesn't get the attention in Japan that others have gotten out of comes to the United States.
Yeah, I think bitter is probably the right word. You know, he has been here for a long time, of course, pitching with the Pawtucket Red Sox first, then in Boston, and now has been in the majors for a long time. And really, he was not a star over there when he came here, and really was kind of ignored during that time. And some of the writers approached him yesterday trying to talk to him about Daisuke. He really didn't want to talk about Daisuke. He really kind of wanted to know where they've been over the last few years while he's been here. But I think he would like nothing more than to pitch extremely well tonight against Daisuke. And this is more than just your average outing, I think, for Tomo Oka tonight. Coco Crisp beginning the night, hitting at .226, no homers and 8 runs batted in.
Kevin Youkilis out of the lineup tonight after getting hit a couple of times Sunday in Minnesota, and of course last night here, pretty much in the same area, same leg, and not able to go tonight. Although Francona said if he needed him later on in the game, he would probably be available. But we look at Sunday where he could hit a little bit higher on the leg, and then last night more around the knee, just above the knee. And that one, of course, will be a little bit more sore. That's right on a bone. And so he's having trouble bending down today, and that's why he's not in the starting lineup.
He gets hit a lot. Is it because of where he is in the batter's box?
Yeah, and you try to pitch him inside. That's part of the tactic against a guy like Kevin Youkilis. He kind of hangs out over the plate. He dives in, and you try to pitch him inside to jam him.
Tied with A-Rod and Sheffield, only behind Alex Gordon, the rookie for the Kansas City Royals. Quick check on Coco Crisp at first base.
5 steals for Coco Crisp. He's been caught 1 time.
Well, the catcher Fasano headed out to talk to Tomo Oka. Oka last year 18 starts with the Milwaukee Brewers was 4-5 with a 4.82 earned run average. Placed on the DL on May 1st of last year, and a tear in his right rotator cuff. And it really set him back last season. As Crisp does not take off at first, David Ortiz takes the ball.
And then later on in the season, he had a hamstring problem, which really basically shut him down the rest of the way.
That was on September 15th at Washington, a right hamstring pull. And that was the end of the year for him. He was actually had that injury take place, and his batting was running to first base. This was the Red Sox who purchased his contract from the Yokohama Bay Stars of the Japanese League back in 1998. In November, he was the Red Sox minor league player of the year in 1999, going 15-0 with a 2.31 earned run average. And of course, through just the 3rd perfect game in the history of the International League at the AAA level. In 117 years of existence in the International League, just the 3rd perfect game. And the Red Sox traded him to the Montreal Expos in the deal that brought Ugether Bina to Boston. Ortiz lofts it foul off to the left, and it's 1-2 to Big Papi.
That's a good sized lead. Coco Crisp is good over there at first base. It seems like the cut of the dirt here is a wider and longer than the one in Minnesota. And of course, Coco getting 1 foot on the dirt, 1 foot on the grass. That was a pretty good sized lead he had.
5 out of 6 in the early going for Coco Crisp. Crisp had stolen 11 bases in a row dating back to last season prior to being thrown out on Sunday in the finale against the Minnesota Twins. They elevate and miss to even the count now at 2-2.
Now the Red Sox will see 2 different types of fastballs: the cross seam, the 2-seam, the slider, which is probably Oka's best pitch, a changeup, and a splitter from Oka.
Ortiz lines it into right field, a base hit. And Coco Crisp up to second base. Red Sox have something going with 1 down here in the 1st inning.
Yeah, see, Ortiz is becoming a much smarter hitter against the Blue Jays. Get the ball over the head of Aaron Hill, the second baseman. He's just grounded out to him, lined out to him, it seems like all season long. But because they're in double play depth, he has to play a little bit shallower than he normally would. And the line drive up over the head and for the base hit. It's so hard that Crisp has to stay at second base.
Ortiz 5 for 23 now against the Blue Jays this season, as they have stymied him on a number of nights, but not this time. He's got himself a base hit. Here's Manny, who's hit safely in the last 7 games, totaling a .243 average with 5 homers and 17 runs batted in. And during this 7-game streak, he's hit at .400 and lifted that average from 188 to the .243 that he currently resides. And with some incredible numbers over the years against the Toronto Blue Jays, ranks first with 52 career home runs for an opponent against the Blue Jays. Tied for second in RBIs with Cal Ripken Jr. and Robin Yount. 2 RBIs behind Harold Baines, who's the all-time leader with 131 against these Toronto Blue Jays. This one gets away from Fasano. Everybody's going to move up as Crisp goes to third and David Ortiz to second on a wild pitch charged to Tomooka.
It's like a ball that Fasano tried to backhand like a first baseman instead of getting down to block the ball. And by trying to backhand it, it bounces and deflects off the glove, and 2 guys move up. He did get down, but it almost looked like he should have kind of turned that glove over and just tried to block it instead of catch it.
So first base now open. And a count of 2-1 to Manny. Chop left side. John McDonald waits on it. His play's at first and he makes it, but in the back door from third comes Coco Crisp, and the Red Sox jump out on top 1-0.
Well, a big play. You know, that ball getting by Fasano. If it does not, it could have been a double play to end this inning for the Toronto Blue Jays. Instead, by moving both guys to second and third, it removes the force play, and then just a little ground ball will get the run home. So here's Fasano going to the backhand to try to catch it, deflects off him. That eliminates a double play, and then Manny the ground ball to get a run home.
Here's J.D. Drew. That's just 4 hits in his last 40 at bats, and hitting at .255, 2 homers and 11 runs batted in. Was 0 for 4 in the first game of the series here last night with a walk. Starting his 28th game in right field for the Red Sox, a possible 32. He takes ball 3, 3-0. Will now put him on intentionally as Fasano standing upright, and down to first base goes Drew. So the second walk of the inning given up by Oka, the first of the intentional variety. And we'll bring up Mike Lowell. It's at .289, 5 homers and 24 runs batted in. Snapped an 0 for 12 drought here last night with a 3-run home run in the 3rd inning of last night's game. Mike Lowell's great numbers against the Blue Jays, 29 RBIs in 33 career games.
And great numbers against Tomooka, .333 with 3 career home runs.
Despite having the 3-run home run last night, Mike's just 1 for 16 on the road trip. It's the only hit he's had on the trip so far. As Oka falls behind now, 2-1. Well, Mike Lowell had one of 4 home runs off Victor Zambrano last night, and this was a 3-run shot.
That was on a bad changeup, a changeup that stayed up about letter high inside, and Lowell didn't miss it.
Well, he takes ball 4, and this will load the bases. 3rd walk of the inning given up by Oka. Well, walks were a problem last night. A problem again tonight so far for the Toronto Blue Jays.
Well, the most Oka's walked in a start this year is 3, and that's 3 times he did it. Once against Tampa Bay, once against the Red Sox, and once against Texas. Already 3 now in the 1st inning.
So a bases loaded situation with 2 down in the inning. And a run already in for Boston here in the 1st. Tech had a fantastic night last night as Jason reaching base in all 5 of his plate appearances, going 4 for 4. He's got the average up to .284 now, with 3 homers and 12 runs batted in.
And the good thing about last night, a lot of those hits coming from the left side of the plate. He had been really struggling hitting left-handed.
This recent trip has done wonders for his batting average. Started the trip hitting at 241. He's up to 284 with his recent production. As he bats with Ortiz at third, Drew at second, and Lowell at first, with 2 down here in the first inning. Yeah, it's 2-1. Well, last night, Lowell and Veritek going back-to-back on the first pitch that Veritek saw after the home run by Lowell. He hit a home run of his own. His 3rd home run of the season.
Well, that again coming from the left side. He started this road trip hitting 193 against right-handed pitching. He's up to 256.
Around that time by Fasano. And it's 3-1. Oak has already walked 3 in the inning.
And in danger of walking in a run here. That's a 2-1 changeup that wasn't even close to Veritek.
The former Blue Jay Arakinski waits on deck. Well, the 3-1 pitch. Veritek pops it up. Right side, and Aaron Hill makes the catch, and Tomooka very fortunate to get out of the inning, giving up just the 1 run. 1-0 Boston. One to nothing. Red Sox on top. Blue Jays coming to bat. Their lineup is brought to you by Rico. It's Alex Rios who's at the top of that lineup in right field. Adam Lindy in left. Vernon Wells in center field. Frank Thomas, the designated hitter. Troy Glass at third base. Lyle Overbay at first base. And Aaron Hill at second. Sal Fasano in there doing the catching, batting eighth. And John McDonald gets the start at shortstop tonight for the Blue Jays. The starting pitcher is brought to you by Panasonic. On the mound for Boston is Daisuke Matsuzaka.
Start number 7 for Daisuke. The 3-2 record, 5.45 ERA. His second start against Toronto. He had one bad inning up here and lost that ball game 2-1. It was the 4th inning when he allowed a couple of hits and 3 walks through 38 pitches in that inning. And of course the Red Sox were beaten 2-1 last time out against Seattle. A season low 5 innings, a season high 7 earned runs, and a season high 5 walks against the Mariners. But Manny hit a home run in that game, and of course the Red Sox got the 8-7 win.
You know, Alex Rios had led off the bottom of the first inning last night with a home run off Josh Beckett. Takes strike one tonight from Daisuke Matsuzaka. The home run for Rios was his 6th of the season to go along with a .269 batting average and 19 runs batted in.
I'll tell you what, it's kind of amazing to watch Daisuke. We looked first of all at the home run last night by Alex Rios, jumping on that first pitch from Josh Beckett, a fastball up and in. And they were hacking early against Beckett that first inning last night. But Josh settled down and pitched another dandy for the Red Sox. Getting back to Matsuzaka, you know, we got here about, what, 2:30 this afternoon. I'd say about 3 o'clock. He was out running in the outfield. And then tonight, before the other pitcher was even out of the clubhouse, he was out playing lawn catch before going to warm in the bullpen.
Definitely doing some different things in between this start and the last one as Rios sends it out to left field. He'll take the wide turn at first, but hold on with a leadoff single here in the bottom of the first inning.
This was earlier this afternoon, probably about 3 o'clock. Was out doing some jogging to get ready for tonight's game. And Terry Francona said in his meeting, he says, you know, I like pitchers that get out there and get acclimated with their surroundings and get loose. But that was awfully early to get loose. You can stiffen up 5 times between then and the game.
Yeah, Terry was saying he never understood the starters who sleep till about 20 minutes before they're supposed to be in the bullpen.
Well, how about Lee Smith?
Yeah.
When he'd sleep maybe till it was time to pitch. They'd have to go wake him up. Lee Smith, they'd wake him up in the clubhouse about the 6th inning to get him out because it was almost his time of the game.
I heard he could fall asleep just about anywhere.
With the best of them.
Yeah. Well, here is Adam Lind. Rios at first base, and he sends it foul. And then the start again in left field tonight. Hitting at .241 with 3 homers and 11 runs batted in. Strike 3 called, and he makes quick work of Adam Lind. First strikeout of the night for Matsuzaka.
Well, you know, a lot of the concern has been working out of the stretch position, and no problem here. 3 strikes. The fastball right on the outside corner, painting that corner with strike 3. Francona and John Farrell said they've just tried to get him to slow down a little bit from that stretch position. His body's been getting out in front of the arm, and of course that's been causing him to get a little bit wild.
Here's Vernon Wells, who taps one foul. Veritek out aggressively, but a foul ball. Vernon Wells starting the night hitting at .281. Four homers and 17 runs batted in. Ranked 6th right now on the all-time Toronto Blue Jays list with 145 home runs. He is 4 shy of Lloyd Mosby. And the 5th spot, as this is popped up from short, comes Lugo to put it away for the inning's 2nd out.
The Red Sox defense is brought to you by your Boston area Lexus dealers, 11th in the American League with 23 errors in 31 games. Mike Lowell at third base, Julio Lugo the shortstop, Dustin Pedroia at second, and Eric Hinsky at first. Left to right, Manny Ramirez, Coco Crisp, and J.D. Drew, and Jason Veritek doing the catching for Matsuzaka.
So 2 down here in the first inning, and it brings up Frank Thomas. Thomas at .250, 4 homers and 15 runs batted in. In the dirt gathered by Veritek. No advance at first base for Alex Rios.
And about 3 curveballs this inning for Daisuke, which have been pretty good. You know, last couple of games that breaking ball hasn't been in top form for him, but these first couple of this game have had a pretty good snap to it. Last out, the one to Vernon Wells, the pop-up, that was on a curveball.
hard stuff inside. It's now 2-0.
Last time Daisuke faced the Blue Jays, he did have 10 strikeouts in that game against Toronto.
One of 2 10 strikeout performances he's had on the season. Of course, in his first outing in a Red Sox uniform at Kansas City, struck out 10 Royals over 7 innings. Most pitches he's thrown in any game, 117 pitches. That was at New York, the outing before the last one. And the green light for Thomas, who fouls it off to the right.
And a good sign late on that fastball on the 3-0 count for Frank Thomas. A lot of times 3-0, you want to make sure you get a pitch that you can hit middle in and be able to pull it. That time Thomas late.
Third time this season that he swung a 3-0 pitch. 13 opportunities. As you saw, Troy Glaus waiting on deck. 2 down. Alex Rios at first base. Well, he's striking a full count now. Rios will be off with a pitch at first base, held on by Eric Hensky. And it's ball 4. So there's the first walk of the night given up by Daisuke. This player profile brought to you by Sovereign Bank, the official bank of the Red Sox cable network. And the 12th native of Japan to start a major league game, 3rd with the Red Sox. Hoka, of course, Deo Nomo, and now Matsuzaka. And tonight marks just the 4th time that 2 Japanese starters have gone head-to-head. And the first time that it has not involved Max Suzuki. Last time was back in 2002. This one is fouled off to the right.
Of course, Troy Glaus did not face Daisuke last time. He was on the disabled list when Matsuzaka pitched that first game against the Blue Jays. Fasano has not faced him, nor has McDonald in this lineup.
The reigning American League Player of the Week, Troy Glaus. Rios at second, Thomas at first, and 2 down here in the bottom of the first inning. 93 that time for Matsuzaka. A ball and a strike now to Glaus. Swing and a miss late on the cut, and it's 1-2.
Well, there's a case where Daisuke got away with a mislocation. Veritek wanted that fastball in tight, but watch where it ends up, outside corner, but still no contact by Troy Glaus. So mistakes don't always get hit.
Glaus pops it up. Pedroia ducking back. Makes the catch. It ends the inning. The Blue Jays strand a pair after 1. It's 1-0 Boston.
Do you have a dinosaur?
Well, it's time now for the Kawasaki Moment. And of course, Josh Beckett last night picking up win number 7, had 5 strikeouts to go along with it last night. This moment is brought to you by Kawasaki. Let the good times roll.
Now look at Beckett's line last night, just throwing 89 pitches, no reason to throw any more, with a big lead for the Red Sox last night in a fine 7-inning effort. Now 7-0 on the season for Josh Beckett. 6th Red Sox pitcher ever to win his first 7 starts in a season. As leading it off here for Boston, the former Toronto Blue Jay Eric Hinske. And there tonight for Kevin Youkilis. Hinske hits at .240, no homers, and 2 runs batted in. Hinske, Pedroia, and Lugo scheduled to face Tomooka here in the 2nd inning, who gave up a run in the first, but very fortunate he didn't give up a lot more. He walked 3 in the inning. And the Red Sox ended up leaving the bases loaded in the 1st inning. One of those 3 walks was of the intentional variety. Strike that time to Hinske, and it's now 3-1. Another strike and a full count. Hinske just 2 for 12 in his career against Tomooka. Foul ball off to the left, and the count remains 3-2.
Well, it's not $2 Tuesday. It's nobody Wednesday today. It's a lot of those $2 Tuesday people are not here tonight. Not a bad crowd though here at Sky Dome, but certainly not as big as last night.
So a cute foul off the end of the bat. Eric Hinske made his first start of the season in left field on Sunday. Started 2 games in right, and now tonight marks his 4th start at first base. In the last 9 games, he's just 2 for 20. And takes ball 4. Led down to first base. 4th walk given up by Oka. And we check in for the first time tonight with Tina Cervasio.
Don, last inning when Matsuzaka was pitching, you and Jerry were talking about how this afternoon at 2:30, Matsuzaka was out here in the ballpark running and throwing. Not something we're accustomed to seeing on a starting pitcher on the day that he's pitching. But like Jerry said, Terry likes this. And here the manager explains why.
Well, the day starts, I don't know if I'd consider it a workout. I think it's more of an acclimation to the elements. A lot of pitchers do it. You know, they go out and they see what the weather's like. They throw a little bit. They get their legs loose. They get the blood flowing, which I actually think is great. The day you're going to be asked to do the most physically, it's hard to imagine. Some guy will sleep on that table till 20 minutes before the game. So I'd much rather see a guy out there running around.
Well, what a strange play this last one was. A bunt by Pedroia, and it is pushed with the hand by Oka right by the bag at first, and the runners advance another base. So it's 2nd and 3rd, the error charge to Oka.
Strange play as Pedroia drops one down that first base line. It just looked to me if he gets it in his glove and flips it, he's got Pedroia, but instead he knocks it over toward first base, and Overbay can't come up with it. So once that gets by Overbay, Pedroia to 2nd base, and of course Hinske to 3rd base.
So it's a single and an error charge to the pitcher. And it's 2nd and 3rd, nobody out, and Oka in trouble again. It's Julio Lugo fly to center field his first time up. Well, by my standards, that was a workout. What I saw Daisuke Matsuzaka do today, that was a workout.
Well,
acclimating himself is one thing. Running is another thing. For me, that's a workout.
Just getting from the lunchroom up here is a workout for you, going up the steps. Tough to pull you out of the lunchroom, too.
2-0 the count to Lugo. Right side, Aaron Hill Look towards the plate, but fires to first, and another Boston run in. Eric Kinski scores, and it's 2-0 Red Sox.
That's a beautiful thing by Lugo there. Infield back, of course, you get second and third. So if you go that way in the ground, you get the run home and you get the man to third base with less than 2 outs. It doesn't look like much, but it's a good baseball play. Lugo trying to go the other way. Trying to get a base hit, obviously, but if you go on the ground, you get a run home and you get the man to third base.
15 RBIs now for Julio Lugo. The infield in all the way around now for the Jays. As Coco Crisp pops it up foul back and out of play. Coco walked in the first inning. Tomo Oka has season high 4 walks now. And just an inning into third. And 2 of those walks have turned into runs.
Lee, our great assistant up here in the booth, every time we come to Toronto, pointed out a number to me today that the ERA of this pitching staff for Toronto since Greg Zahn has been hurt has really gone up quite a bit. And they miss Zahn behind the plate. Knows how to call a game, knows the pitches very well. Got Sal Fasano coming here, new at this ball club, spent some time with him in spring training, and of course Phillips not that much experience, but Zahn with that broken thumb, well, there are the numbers since the injury to Zahn. That whip pretty high and ERA very high.
It's short, and McDonald's the runner back and fires across to get Crisp 2 down.
No contact play that time with Ortiz on deck. With the infield pulled in, the ground ball right to McDonald. He gets the out at first base, and Pedroia stays at third, which you would expect him to do with David Ortiz on deck with Manny to follow. If you were hitting down toward the bottom of the lineup, Don, that'd be a different story. They may have the contact play on in that situation, but not with David coming up.
So Big Papi here with a chance with 2 down with Pedroia at third base. Ortiz with a single to right his first time up, a little deeper this time as Aaron Hill into right. Toronto's second baseman as he follows the first one back. David Ortiz, who started every game so far this season for the Red Sox, the 32nd straight game that has been the Red Sox DH, has not had a day off yet. Now down the left field line, and it's now 0-2. The Blue Jays got into their bullpen very early last night as Victor Zambrano chased from the game after just 2 1/3 innings. They need a little something tonight from Oka. They want to get back into that bullpen early again tonight.
I agree. They need a long outing from Oka, and even if Oka's getting lit up a little bit, he may have to stay in there for a while.
Blue Jays have lost 7 games in a row. Already at 48 pitches tonight is Tomo Oka. Two down, Pedroia at third base. Already a 2-0 Red Sox lead. Sox last night erupting for 9 runs on 13 hits. It's after scoring only 7 runs in the entire 3-game series against the Twins. Up top for a ball. And it's 2-2 now to Big Papi. Side full count. The recent production too by the Red Sox offensively. That batting average as a team is climbing. They're up to third now in the American League, only the Yankees and Twins with a higher batting average. The Yankees setting the pace, sitting at 283 as a club. The Red Sox start the night at 271 as a team. Full count to Ortiz. Line into left field, a base hit. From third comes Pedroia to put the Red Sox on top 3-0 as Ortiz motors into second base with an RBI double. An opposite field double at that.
Now that's what makes David Ortiz so good. You know, he can take those pitches at a middle away and still take them hard to the opposite field. 3-2 count. That pitch on the outside corner probably is a strike. You can't take it. And Ortiz head down on the baseball, shoulder on the ball, and drives it the other way. You see Gloss in the pitcher. That ball's tailing away from him. He can't get to it. And the Red Sox have the 3-0 lead.
Here's Manny, who grounded out to short his first time up. It's a fly ball down the right field line and foul ground for Overbay, and he can't make the catch. Almost a collision, as there were three players pursuing. Rios from right, Hill from second, and Overbay, who appeared to have the best chance, can't come up with it.
Yeah, he did. And you know, that ball was up there so long, you think somebody would be able to make a play on it. Rios can't get to it. Overbay slowed up to look at the wall, and of course Hill can't chase it down. When Overbay took a peek at that wall, he was a long way from it.
So another chance here for Manny. Fouled off, and it's 0-2. The Sox getting a run in the first tonight. They scored twice so far here in the second. David Ortiz at second base with two away. Just off the outside edge, and it's 1-2 now to Manny. Fouling it back.
You may be yelling at the wrong guy. You may be yelling at the wrong guy.
And there is action all of a sudden up in the Toronto pen as Josh Towers had been in the rotation, now in the pen, is up.
He's one guy that did not work last night, of course, was in the starting rotation, replaced by Zambrano.
And he is a guy who could give you some innings based on the fact that he was just in the rotation not all that long ago. The Blue Jays have lost 7 in a row. John Gibbons and his coaching staff yesterday, with the ownership here at the ballpark, they kind of called up in uniform yesterday as a group, trying to get a little rally cry going, but got that vote of confidence, which you don't always know if that's a good thing or a bad thing at times. But did get the vote of confidence, just trying to get this team going still very early in the season. Ground to his left, John McDonald round the bag at second, and Manny is out, but the Red Sox scored twice, a 3-0 Boston lead.
is proud to be the official supplier of plumbing, heating, and cooling supplies for the Boston Red Sox. To learn more about how FW Web can help you, contact your local professional contractor or visit fwweb.com. FW Web, we've got it.
Three to nothing. Red Sox on top. They gather a couple of runs in the top half of this inning as Daisuke returns to the mound to face Lyle Overbay.
The conversation between innings between John Gibbons and Davis, the home plate umpire. I heard last inning Davis yelled toward the dugout, "You're yelling at the wrong guy." Now, I don't know who said something out of that dugout, but that's what Gibbons is questioning between innings. It was not an animated discussion. As a matter of fact, when it broke up, they were both smiling at each other.
To the count to Lyle Overbay. Jerry Davis can be a little bit tight as far as strike zones go. We refer to this survey from time to time, and Jerry Davis at the top as far as fewest strikeouts per game among umpires last year. And of course, that's for both sides, both pitchers in the game. Foul tip held onto by Jason Varitek. Second strikeout for Daisuke.
Both strikeouts for Matsuzaka on his fastball. He got Lynn looking on the outside corner. And now he throws the fastball by Lyle Overbay, one that kind of sails toward the outside corner. More of a two-seam fastball that time from Matsuzaka.
One away now for Aaron Hill. Back out of the way of that pitch inside. 91 miles per hour on the gun for Daisuke. It's been around 91 to 93 so far in tonight's game. I guess, you know, we heard so much about Daisuke being in the mid-90s. I really have not, unless I'm wrong, seen a consistent mid-90s from Daisuke at any point this season.
Last time I saw that was in the World Baseball Classic.
Right, exactly. Side is falling behind here, 3-0. And that last one at 93. And that's where he's kind of peaked at. There's a strike, 3-1.
Different look there on the 3-1 count. No straight fastball for Hill. That's the cut fastball from Daisuke. His breaking pitches look a little bit better tonight in the early going than what we've seen recently. His curveball in particular. That cut fastball.
Strike three call. Hill doesn't like it as he's rung up. Back-to-back strikeouts for Matsuzaka.
Well, maybe Davis is trying to improve himself on that list of punch-out umpires. Now, that's a good pitch. It's a fastball knee-high and right out over the plate. Aaron Hill thought it was a little bit low.
So 2 down here in the bottom of the second inning. Brings up Sal Fasano. So Jason Phillips catching the game last night. Fasano in there tonight. Highlighted the absence of Greg Zahn, who played for a lot of different teams, but has kind of found a home here in Toronto. And he's done a very good job as their everyday catcher. Of course, getting injured against the Red Sox at Fenway Park in a foul tip that ended up fracturing his hand. And finds himself on the disabled list for the Blue Jays. He was actually kind of backing up for a little while. Benji Molina, who's here very briefly with Toronto, but he found himself playing more than Molina for a while. And he returns here to Toronto while Molina no longer calls Toronto home. Now plays for the Giants. Swing and a miss. 2-2 now to Fasano.
And once again, a good sharp cutter, slider here, whatever you want to call it, from Matsuzaka.
Strike 3 call. Matsuzaka strikes out the side. 3-0 Red Sox through 2.
NESN is July. We're giving blind dates a sporting chance. Now, I think a good idea to do is, you know, when you start this blind dating thing at Fenway, have a bouquet of flowers. That's a good opener, right?
Yeah.
You know, like
bring something.
You drop a "How you doing?" and then give her the flowers.
I can't wait for that.
You know, I can't.
I really can't. We're talking about it since spring training.
I've been anxiously awaiting that ever since I first heard it was on the drawing board.
Because I think we're going to have a lot of fun with it.
Oh.
I really do. The Paw Sox are taking on the Toledo Mud Hens on Saturday, a game you will see on NESN. And the Sox Appeal people are doing a little trial run.
Are they really?
Yeah.
That's right. Is that on NESN?
Yes, the game will be on NESN. As Drew strikes out, first strikeout for Oka.
I'm going to watch that game then. That's Saturday night, right?
Yeah.
Slider here from Tomooka. That pitch also appeared to be low. Aaron Hill thought he had a low one, and so did J.D. Drew. Well, I'm going to rush home from our game.
Yeah.
Jump in the shower, have a quick bite to eat, and then turn that ball game on. And
you know, I have a feeling that all the smack we've come up with is going to be 10 times worse than what is really said. I think we're going to see some pretty amazing stuff being said because they have such a brief period of time in which to throw themselves out there.
Yeah.
It's going to be.
I think you got to notice things that they want you to notice. For example, if the lady has a tattoo.
Right.
You mentioned that right out of the chute. Like, I love your tattoo because it's there for a reason.
Right.
I mean,
they put it
she
there.
wants it to be noticed. So, you know, anything that's, I'd say that anything that's, you know, out of the ordinary that, you know, you can tell she wants noticed, mention it right away.
Right. She has like. 2-1 as Lowell lines it to left field. Over is Lynn. Back at the track as Lowell's thinking two. Lynn throw to second base. Close but not in time. A one-out double for Mike Lowell.
Now Lowell's in a streak there for a while where he was piling up a lot of doubles. He picks up his 9th of the season. He gets that fastball middle in from Tomooka. Oka doesn't have much in this ball game so far tonight. Red Sox have had chances to score in every single inning. They have scored in the first two.
There's Veritek with first base open. Lowell at second base with one down. Fly ball to center field. Vernon Wells. 2 down.
You know, like if the lady's wearing like you know, the big Kentucky Derby bonnets that they wear at the. I mean, mention it right out of the chute. Don't let that pass.
That's a great hat.
Because that's there for that's there for a reason.
Right.
So she's wearing one of those big, you know, they're very big at McCoy Stadium, those big bonnets.
Sure.
Yeah. Just make sure you mention it. And then you mention the scorpion on her neck, you know, the tattoo of a scorpion on her neck.
This is all great advice.
And then you drop the how you doing with a bouquet of flowers and a free vase.
2 down for Eric Hensky. Walked and scored his first time up. But I think it's important too that you have to be an active listener, though. I mean, the listening is key. I mean, you shouldn't do all the talking.
No, but you got to open it up and then be a good listener. And the other thing, I wouldn't recommend rubbing her head like Manny did with Tavares right out of the chute. You got to get to know her a little bit, at least an inning. Please start rubbing her head.
That's all you have is an inning, and then you're out.
Oh, you got 1 inning? You're gone?
1 inning.
No, you got 3 innings.
3 innings?
3 innings.
Oh, we got plenty of time then. Okay, 3 days, 2 innings each, so it's 2 innings. And then in the 7th inning stretch, they decide whether or not you're out. So it's 2 innings. So you may lay low the first inning and then throw your real good smack out there the 2nd inning.
No, you throw your smack out right out of the chute, and then you listen. You become a good listener for the 2nd inning.
I'm going with a different strategy. The 1-1. Ball 2, 2-1.
I bet you I would bet that we're going to have 2 marriages come out of this.
Oh, at least.
I would say 2. Neither one will last longer than 6 weeks. Which really in today's day and age isn't that bad.
Not bad. Mike roll at second base with 2 down here in the top half of the 3rd inning. Red Sox got a run in the first off Tomowoka, 2 in the 2nd inning. Strike 3 call. 2nd strikeout for Oka. Red Sox lead Lowell at 2nd, but it's 3-0 Boston. Boston Red Sox baseball on NESN is brought to you by Honda, Olympia Sports, the official sporting goods retailer of the New England Sports Network, and by Dunkin' Donuts. 3-0 Red Sox on top as we head to the last half of the 3rd inning. John McDonald, Alex Rios, and Adam Lynn. Daisuke Matsuzaka struck out the side in order in the second inning.
And all 3 strikeouts in that inning. Matter of fact, all 4 in the game on Daisuke's fastball.
And 3 of the 4 called third strikes.
Well, that's a good curveball. This is the best curveball that we've seen him have, Don, since his first couple of outings. Very sharp breaking ball tonight. This is almost a jelly leg curveball right there.
Jumped ahead of McDonald, 0-2. Swing and a miss. 4 strikeouts in a row for Daisuke.
Now 4 in a row, and let's take a look at the 4. First of all, Obebe going down on a fastball. Aaron Hill being called out on a fastball that he thought was low. Then Fasano also looking at a fastball. Now the slider to McDonald to lead off the 3rd inning. Very sharp breaking stuff so far in this game for Daisuke.
Down for Alex Rios. Rios with the only hit so far for the Toronto Blue Jays as he singled in the first. Spins him out of there, and it's now 2-0. Rios, 26 years old. First round draft choice by the Blue Jays in 1999. Last year playing 128 games and hitting at .302. He had 17 homers and 82 runs batted in. His second full season in the major leagues. Inside, ball 4, and there's the second walk of the night given up by Matsuzaka.
Well, this June, Nesson and the Boston Globe are teaming up with a new take on Sports Talk with a new host that features 10 questions and a guy with all the answers. Join host Bob Ryan for the all-new Globe 10.0 or 10.0 presented by Verizon. Get the point this summer on Nesson with Globe 10.0.
A one-out walk for Alex Rios.
Could be a 0.
10.0. Going to hold up but could not is Lind, as Davis said he went around. Key matchup is brought to you by Hillians. 4 strikeouts in 4 tries against Matsuzaka. Popping in a foul, backing out of play.
I don't think we've seen a changeup yet from Matsuzaka. It's been all fastballs, cut fastballs, slider, and curveball in this game so far. Daisuke getting it in the hands of Lynn with this high fastball.
Trying to strike him out for the 5th time in 5 tries.
That might have been the changeup right there. It was, but it stayed upstairs. You can see the rotation on the baseball.
Check swing foul into the Toronto dugout sharply towards the end of that dugout. McDonald scattering. Ball 2 strikes to Adam Lynn with 1 out. Alex Rios at first base. On the left field line, Manny Ramirez on the move, but that'll land foul. Lynn, 23 years old. Last year got in 18 games with the Blue Jays, his first major league experience. On the ground, right side, Pedroia dives, looks at second, but fires to first base for out number 2. As Rios up in a scoring position with now 2 down.
Of course, on this artificial surface, this field turf, the ball gets quickly to those infielders and sometimes quickly by him. You don't feel like you have a lot of range. Pedroia diving, no chance at second base, gets the sure out at first base. Especially when you're in that double play position, the ball seems to really skip by you in a hurry.
So 2 down, Rios at second base, and here's Vernon Wells, who popped out to shortstop first time up. Strike from Daisuke evens the count at 1-1. Well, so far with 4 homers and 17 runs batted in. Wells finishing last year with 32 homers, 106 runs batted in. This one kicks off Veritek long way over towards the Blue Jays dugout. And to third base goes Rios. Wild pitch charged to Daisuke.
Tries to snap off the breaking ball, bouncing, and Veritek has it ricochet off his wrist, it looked like. And if that did go into the Blue Jays dugouts, it's only 1 base.
Just 90 feet away now is Rios. First time the Blue Jays have had a base runner to third base. Three and 1. Matsuzaka's walked 2 tonight. Frank Thomas in the first inning and Alex Rios in this inning. Walked a season high 5 batters last time out in the 5-inning effort against Seattle. On the ground, Lugo to his left picks it and throws out Wells. Left at third is Rios. We played 3. It's 3-0 Boston.
We're miking up Jonathan Papelbon during batting practice to give you an inside look at what the players really talk about while shagging fly balls during BP. Join Tom Curran and Ken Marker for Friday Night Fenway this week at 5:30.
Daisuke has not been scored upon through the first 3 innings. He's given up just the 1 hit. And a 3-0 Red Sox lead here into the top half of the 4th inning. Dustin Pedroia getting it off against Tomo Oka, who has thrown 71 pitches through the first 3 innings. Pedroia reached on a bunt single in the 2nd inning and then went to second base on the error by Tomo Oka. Tried to shovel it over to his first baseman Lyle Overbay and ended up kind of knocking it by him down the line. Pedroia's been hot. 9 now for his last 14. Getting in trouble with the walks. Walked 3 in the first inning, 1 in the 2nd inning, and 2 of the 4 walks he has given up tonight have turned into runs. As Pedroia fouls it off to the right. Oka 2 and 3 with a 5.50 on average coming into tonight's action. Hopped up into foul ground for Lyle Overbay. Makes the catch for out number 1. Let's check back in with Tina Cervasio.
There's 2 things that Jerry has mentioned already in this game. One was the size of the dirt cutouts here on this turf surface compared to those in Minnesota, and also how fast the baseball moves through the infield because of the turf surface. Well, because of those 2 elements, third base coach DeMarlo Hale has to think differently when sending runners.
Well, it does help you run better, because you're not running in dirt, but, with the dirt cutout, a lot of times you're sliding a little bit later, because, the cutout is shorter to the bases. But, it does play a factor. I know from a third base coach point of view, usually the ball gets to the outfielders quicker. So if you get aggressive outfielders charging the ball, put a little bit more pressure on me.
And one example when the pressure is on DeMarlo was back on Sunday in Minnesota when he sent David Ortiz home. He knew it would be a bang-bang play, but David wasn't full speed. He just got gunned down at the plate because of a great relay throw by Jason Bartlett.
Well, Jerry, we've talked about it many times over the last couple of years. I think DeMarlo Hale has done an outstanding job as a Red Sox third base coach.
Well, it's kind of a thankless job because when you don't mention his name, that means he's doing a good job, and there have been very, very few times where he's had guys thrown out. And when they have been, it's been in right situations. When it's 2 outs in an inning, the time where, it's kind of 50-50 whether he's going to score, but you send him with 2 outs. Of course, that depends on who's on deck, and he does a very good job down there of knowing game situations, knowing his runners, and also knowing the outfielders.
Two down, base is empty, and Coco Crisp.
They rely a lot now on scouting reports because teams very seldom take infield. Third base coaches used to sit in the dugout and watch the other team take infield to see how outfielders were throwing. Whether a guy had a sore arm or not. And maybe wasn't throwing as well as he did the last time they saw him. Or some new kid that came up, let's see what kind of arm he's got, because they love to show it off in infield practice. Teams don't take infield practice anymore. So it makes it a little bit more difficult for third base coaches to really understand what some of these guys bring to the table.
Okay.
He's not going to be happy there. That looked like a strike.
It's headed towards the dugout.
I don't know where this pitch was not a strike. I guess too low.
Wow.
And we've seen a couple of those called already in this game. He tries it again. Same location, same call.
At least he's consistent.
Well, yeah.
Consistently wrong. Wow.
That was Don Orsello. Jerry Davis had said that.
Wow. That's all I got. Right side. Aaron Hill picks it and throws out Coco Crisp in order for the Red Sox in the fourth, but they're on top 3-0.
Hey, boss. We have.
New collection of Red Sox posters in the Boston Globe. Just pick up a copy of this Sunday's Globe, and inside you'll find a free poster of Sox knuckleballer Tim Wakefield. That's this Sunday, May 13th, only in the Globe. Boy, those are very, very popular items.
That's Daisuke Matsuzaka. Through the first three, he's given up just one hit. Alex Rios, the first batter that he faced in the first inning, he has walked to. 5 strikeouts so far tonight for Matsuzaka, as this one ripped back up the middle. Knocked down by Pedroia, stays with it and still gets Frank Thomas, who certainly does not run well. And a nice play there by Pedroia to stay with it on a hot shot back up the middle.
Looks like the ball deflected off of Daisuke, and that gave Pedroia, a chance to get to it. And of course, with the lack of speed of Frank Thomas, they still get him at first base. A line shot by Frank Thomas on that first fastball, deflected by Matsuzaka, knocked down by Pedroia. He finally picks it up. This seemed like it took forever, and Frank Thomas still couldn't beat it out. Plus, last year, Thomas played with a bad quad most of the season, but still not running that well. Never has.
All kinds of ankle problems over the years, too. Actually had pins put in the ankle 2 years ago. And running is not something that has come easily for him the last couple of years. 1-4-3 on that putout. And there's one down here in the fourth inning for Troy Glass. Glass popped out to second base, first time up back in the first inning. In center field and a base hit. Some better cuts against Daisuke here in this inning. Well, it's time now for the Aflac trivia question. And our question tonight: which pitcher holds a major league record by winning his first 18 starts in a season? They go back a little ways, we'll tell you that. But
oh, that's a heck of a year, isn't it?
Quite a start.
Did this person win the Cy Young that year? Must have. Oh my God!
The award hadn't been handed out yet. Give you an idea of how long ago it was. High fly ball. The center field, Crisp having trouble seeing it, now does. As he makes the catch from over there with the arms in the air as if to say I can't see it. And Ross back to the bag at first, 2 down. He was able to see it as it was on the way down, apparently.
There's a couple of things you deal with here when the dome's open. Of course, the normal twilight you would get, and plus the fact the lighting here. Sometimes the players lose the ball in the lighting here at the Rogers Center. You see Coco go back right there. It looks like he doesn't know where it is, and then he picks it up on the way down. Of course, you don't have those problems with the exception of the lights when the dome is closed.
2 down for Aaron Hill. He struck out looking back in the 2nd inning.
Here's another look at a place that I'll never visit, that Francona continued to talk about today. The biggest mistake he's made in an off day.
And that he had to pay for, which was also an issue. I guess it was some $30 to go to the top.
$30 to get sick.
Yeah.
What's the point?
Money he'll never get back. Foul chipped, and it's 1-2. Hill strikes out for the 2nd time tonight. 6 strikeouts for Daisuke Matsuzaka. 3-0 Red Sox.
10 million, 12 million, just buy it.
Three 0 the Red Sox on top as we head to the top half of the 5th inning. 5 in a row retired by Tomo Oka, starting to settle down here a little bit over the last inning plus, as he gave up a run on the first 2 in the 2nd inning. Was not allowed a run since then. Thrown 71 pitches through 3 innings. Ortiz lines it to right. One hops the wall. Ortiz will take the wide turn at first, but a long single for David to begin things here in the 5th.
Now, nothing that Oka is throwing up there to Ortiz tonight is fooling him. 3 for 3, 2 singles in the double. That looks like a little cut fastball that stays just above the belt and right out over the plate. Actually, Oka's fortunate that ball stayed in the ballpark. Rios gets to it quickly and holds Ortiz to the single.
Well, the first 3-hit game of the year for David.
Well, that's surprising.
Yeah. Here's Manny, who's 0 for 2. He's grounded out twice to the Toronto shortstop. He fouls it off to catcher Sal Fasano. He's come up a couple of times with runners in scoring position. David Ortiz was at third base when he grounded out to short in the first inning, and then grounded out with Ortiz at second base in the second. Ryan Talent. We saw a lot of the Toronto relievers last night, but we saw Talent. Ball and a strike to Manny with Ortiz at first base. Overbay plays in behind him. To short again. McDonald, the second base for one, on to first, a double play. Third time Manny has grounded to John McDonald.
Manny in this game is taking pitches that normally he would hit up the middle or the other way, but he's trying to pull them, and the results have been ground balls to shortstop for him all night long. You see the location of this pitch. It's going to be a little bit toward the outside part of the plate. Many times we see Manny go the other way with that, hard the other way. Instead, he's hooking it and grounding out the shortstop.
That is the 7th double play grounded into by Manny Ramirez, which ties him for the American League lead with his teammate David Ortiz and the Yankees' Bobby Abreu. That is 7 double plays grounded into by Manny. Drew, who was intentionally walked in the first inning, struck out in the third, and takes ball 4, a 4-pitch walk. The 5th walk given up by Tomo Oka. And it gives us a chance to check out the answer to our Aflac trivia question. Which pitcher holds a major league record by winning his first 18 starts in a season? It's Rube Marquard. You remember Rube?
Sure.
1912 for the New York Giants.
Yeah.
Now, he did not win the Cy Young Award, but he may have pitched against Cy. He won, actually, his first 19 games of the season, 18 starts. The other one that he won was in relief.
How many did he win on the season?
He only finished up with 26 victories. He was 26-11 with a 2.57 earned run average. Led the league in wins. This is promptly lined into center field by Mike Lowell. J.D. Drew heads on for third base. And it's first and third. Red Sox get something going here with 2 down.
Another good night for Mike Lowell. A walk, a double. Now the base hit on the slider up the middle. So after the double play, the walk and then the single, and here comes John Gibbons. Looks like to get to Oka.
Oka done. This call to the bullpen is brought to you by your local Ford store. Every journey begins with a bold move. Start your journey today by visiting your local Ford store. Your pitcher for the Jays when we come back. It's 3-0 Red Sox.
After our Red Sox coverage, tune into NESN for Sports Desk with Hazel May, presented by FW Webb. That's the home of Frank Webb's Bass Centers. You can visit them at fwweb.com. You'll hear all the details on Doug Flutie's induction into the College Football Hall of Fame. Plus, Sox GM Theo Epstein weighs in on the Roger Clemens signing with the Yankees over the weekend. It's all coming up tonight after our Red Sox coverage with Hazel May in high definition.
Tomo Oka, ineffective for the most part tonight, leaves after just 4 2/3 innings, responsible for 2 men on as Brian Talent comes into the game.
He worked last night against the Sox, inning in a third in that game. No hits allowed, 1 earned run. He did walk a couple. Talent making his 6th appearance since being called up from Syracuse back on April the 22nd.
It's J.D. Drew at third base, Mike Lowell at first base with 2 down in the 5th. Red Sox on top 3-0. Tech hits the fly ball, foul ground down the right field line, long run for Overbay, and no chance to run it down. Tech is popped to second and fly to center. After his 4 for 4 showing here last night. His home run last night ended a streak of 11 games without an extra base hit. It was his 134th career home run, passing Trot Nixon. A sole possession of 17th on the Red Sox all-time list. Up next is Reggie Smith at 16th, 149 home runs. Side jumping back out of the way. Tomo Oka in his 4 2/3 innings walked 5 batters, one intentionally. There's 2 strikeouts coming in the same inning, the 3rd inning, when he got J.D. Drew and Eric Hinsky both looking. Falls behind Veritek, 3-1. In the dirt, and Talent walks the first batter that he faces, and it loads the bases. Kinski booed once again, as he has been every time he has returned here to Toronto. Great numbers with the bases loaded in his career, including a grand slam. Out, starts off ahead. Hinsky walked and scored in the 2nd inning, and struck out looking in the 3rd inning. Down 0-2. In this case, stretching it out. It's been a 12-minute wait so far. The 0-2 pitch to Hinsky. Doesn't chase as Fasano, the good play to his left. J.D. Drew at third base, Mike Lowell at second base, and Jason Varitek at first with 2 down here in the top half of the 5th. Strike 3 call. Red Sox leave them loaded in the top of the 5th, but lead 3-0.
Now it's time to keep score with Nesson, brought to you by Pepsi, and kind of a strange play back in the second inning. Dustin Pedroia bunting for a base hit. Oka trying to push that ball to first base. It gets by Overbay, and of course base runners advance. So what I would do, scoring this one, I would give the line for the base hit. I'd make sure I put in here it was a bunt, and then I would put the E1 for Oka. And that's about it. For more scoring tips and a chance to win a 2008 Dodge Avenger, pick up your free Nesson Viewers Guide at Pepsi's displays in your local Cumberland Farms.
Matsuzaka into the 5th inning. Sal Fasano, John McDonald, and Alex Rios. There's the breaking ball in there for a strike. Fasano, a strikeout victim back in the 2nd inning. Daisuke with 6 strikeouts tonight. Struck out the side in order in the 2nd inning.
Breaking pitches tonight have been very, very sharp for Daisuke. Sliders, curveballs, cut fastballs.
Swing and a miss. Fasano strikes out for the 2nd time tonight. 7 strikeouts for Matsuzaka.
He made that look very easy. You could see that Veritek, when they got ahead of Fasano, wanted a fastball up and out of the zone. Fasano will chase that pitch, and that's exactly what he does. Veritek standing up, and you'll see that he'll hit that spot perfectly, and Fasano will chase it.
Breaking ball. McDonald takes strike 1. He struck out swinging in the 3rd inning. On the ground to 3rd base. Low across the diamond, and there's 2 away. 2 quick outs here for Daisuke in the 5th. Pitching line is brought to you by Nissan. Daisuke 68 pitches deep. Just the 2 hits. A single to Rios in the 1st inning, and a single to Troy Gloss in the 4th inning. Now one out towards the gap in right center field. One hops the wall as Rios headed for second base. Will stop there. A 2-out double.
Now Rios has had a good night. The single on a breaking ball off Daisuke, a walk, and now the double with 2 outs to get into scoring position. He gets the fastball first pitch. And again, you know, this lineup being very aggressive again tonight. Swinging a lot of first pitches.
So 2 down, it'll bring up Adam Lind. And struck out looking in the 1st inning, grounded out to second base in the 3rd inning. Daisuke, who has 2 10 strikeout performances so far, with 7 strikeouts tonight. There's a strike over the outside corner, and it's a ball and a strike now to Lynn. Shooting in from short that time was Lugo, so Matsuzaka backs off. Rays have action. Left-hander Scott Downs, who did not see in last night's game, is up in the pen. Jays struck out Fasano to begin the inning. Got McDonald to ground out to third. And a 2-out double for Alex Rios. And a count of 1-2 to Adam Lind.
Now the closest that the Blue Jays have come to scoring in this ball game, with Rios at third base, a ground out by Vernon Wells. This is back to end the third inning. Daisuke liking results, and of course keeping the Blue Jays off the board. Another man in scoring position here in the fifth with 2 outs.
Daisuke, the only 1-2-3 inning that he's had tonight was the second inning when he struck out Overbay, Hill, and Fasano in order. Side to Lind, and it's 2-2. Last time out, just the 5 innings, a season low for Matsuzaka. Foul back into the seats off to the left.
This is the best performance, Don, we've seen over, I'd say, the last 3 or 4. I mean, this is as sharp as we've seen him in a while with his fastball, with all of his pitches. The only pitch he's not thrown a lot of and hasn't had good control over is his changeup. But all others have been very good.
Outside and a full count. Now to Adam Lind.
Like he tried to change up again there. That's about 3 or 4 that really have not been able to be thrown for strikes. I had to tell if that was supposed to be a changeup or just a backup slider. Veritek was set up inside. That would be a strange place to sit for a changeup.
This is up top, and there's the third walk given up by Daisuke. So Toronto here will bring the tying run to the plate with 2 outs in the fifth. Vernon Wells 0 for 2 in the game tonight. He has popped out to short, grounded out to short. And always a threat to go deep. He takes strike 1 from Daisuke. 92 on the fastball from Matsuzaka. Too far inside that time. Blue Jays left 2 on in the first inning. A runner in the third and a runner in the fourth. The Red Sox have left the bases loaded twice tonight and have left 8 men on through the first 5. Wells hits a fly ball, playable right center field. And it's J.D. Drew puts it away to end the inning. Blue Jays strand a pair, 3-0 Red Sox.
Place, the official hotel of the Boston Red Sox, has the perfect Boston weekend getaway. It's the Grand Slam baseball package that includes 2 tickets to a Red Sox game, 2 nights accommodations, and breakfast for 2. The first available Grand Slam package is for Mother's Day weekend. For reservations and information, call the Grand Slam hotline at 617-937-5600.
I think the Marriott might be a pillowcase short, as that sign appears to be on a pillowcase. 3-0. Red Sox on top as we head to the top half of the 6th inning. And Pedroia lines one to right field. Another hit for Dustin Pedroia, who is red hot right now.
And again, a very nice control swing there by Dustin Pedroia, going to the opposite field for the base hit. Well, so far, Don, tonight our headbands are working for Daisuke. Zaka-san headbands. You know, most of them are white. But these
Why are these black?
Formal wear. You can wear these anywhere. Weddings, banquets.
Formal events?
Yeah.
Black tie events?
Absolutely.
Why wouldn't you? Can't seem to get mine straight. Better now?
That's a little better, yeah. I get you the extra large.
I'm going to need a bigger one. There's more space to cover. To left field. Back goes Lind at the wall. It is gone into the Toronto bullpen. Julio Lugo hits his 2nd home run of the year, and it gives the Red Sox a 5-0 lead.
Now, those are the first runs allowed by Downs so far this season. A breaking ball from Downs, and Lugo does a nice job staying back and picks up home run number 2. He's got 3 runs batted in a night to give him a total of 17 on the season.
Well, 5-0 Red Sox lead for Coco Crisp. That's on the right side now and swings at the first pitch. Shallow left center. John McDonald is out, and he makes the catch and then collides with Lind, who comes underneath him. As everybody's all right, and there's the first out of the inning.
Now, Lind couldn't get to it. Fortunately, he goes into the slide, and McDonald's able to make the play at no major collision.
One down, and it brings up David Ortiz, who's 3 for 3 in the game tonight.
By the way, for those dying to get these headbands, you can get them at the Rimmer Report with a lot of other new products that we have on there right now. But these have been very popular.
I can see why. But do these formal headbands come in a larger size, or is it?
What, is it too small for you?
One size fits all.
We could put 2 together for you, maybe.
It's just. That's better.
Everything Daisuke sells. So it's unbelievable. T-shirts, headbands, everywhere you go. You know, shop online. I mean, everything's Daisuke. So why not jump in there with Daisuke stuff?
Yep.
But formal wear. You just don't want the cheap stuff that you wear. You know, when you're rolling around in the gutter. You need something you can be dressed up and going out.
Ortiz with a swing and a miss, and it's 2-1.
Actually, I forgot to bring one for Tina.
No, she can't have mine.
Just send one down to her. Maybe let's just send mine down. We have a runner.
Foul.
I know, Jerry, I was feeling very left out when I saw those on you two.
Well, don't feel left out, because as soon as I can get a hold of a runner, you're going to have this and you're going to wear it for your next hit. How's that?
Perfect.
Okay. Do we have a runner?
Thank you, Jerry. I don't think we'll ever be able to get that off Don's head. Is it permanently on her now, Don?
Fantastic. It's comfortable. Keeps everything tight. And his lines.
It looks good, especially with the headsets.
I like it. Over the headsets.
Yeah.
It's good in the back, too. I think I'm going to pass out soon, though. Ortiz swings and misses and strikes out. Let's go back to Boston and Tom Caron. TC?
Thank you, Don. Our New England started dealer game break. A battle of the two oldest lefties to ever go head-to-head in an MLB game. And Randy Johnson showing no signs of age. Strikes out the first 6 batters. He faces 9 in 6 innings. But the 44-year-old Jamie Moyer is leading the 43-year-old Randy Johnson 5-3. Guys?
All right, Tom, thank you. It's 5-0 here. Red Sox on top. A 2-run home run in the inning by Julio Lugo. And he hits one deep and far to left. Lynn looking up, and that is gone. Into the second deck for Manny. After a frustrating night in which he grounded out 3 times to the shortstop. His 6th home run of the year, and it's a 6-0 Boston lead.
Now, home runs have been a major factor in this series for the Red Sox. The bombs last night, and now tonight, Lugo with the 2-run home run, and Manny with the solo job. And after grounding out 3 times, Ramirez, the shortstop, finally gets one in the air and certainly deep enough for the home run. What a pretty swing by Ramirez.
Manny adding on to his incredible numbers against the Toronto Blue Jays over the years. That's his 53rd career home run against the Toronto Blue Jays. Inside 2-0.
One more look at the home run swing. The reaction by Downs, who had not given up a run this year until this inning, and Tavares. Manny's pet, I guess you would call him, enjoying the distance on that one.
I'd get out of the way, Alex.
I told Russ Ken said to us that we could make a reel of just Manny moments in his Red Sox career, which I would think would be the most hilarious tape that you could ever put together. And I think my highlight would be obviously the other day. But the highlight of all highlights for me is the cutoff that he made from Johnny Damon in left field.
The diving great play.
The best play of the year.
I kind of liked him going on the wall and not coming out right away. As here's strike 3 over the outside corner for J.D. Drew to end the inning. 3 runs in the inning, 2 homers, and a 6-0 Red Sox lead.
With Futures at Fenway on Nesson Saturday at 6.
6-0 Red Sox on top as we head to the last half of the 6th inning. Daisuke Matsuzaka with 7 strikeouts through the first 5 innings. Frank Thomas, Troy Glaus, and Lyle Overbay bat here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Well, Toronto was trailing 3-0. They sent to the tying run to the plate in Vernon Wells last inning. And Matsuzaka got him to fly out to right. Now he has 3 more runs in which to work with as the Red Sox come up with 3 runs in the inning on 2 home runs, and a little bit more breathing room now for Daisuke. Frank Thomas walked in the 1st inning and grounded out in the 4th inning. Daisuke working here into the 6th inning. His longest outing of the year so far is 7 innings, done 3 times. Outside, it's 2-2 now to Frank Thomas. 2nd career start for Daisuke against Toronto. Red Sox lost 2-1, and Matsuzaka took his 2nd major league loss back on April 17th here at Rogers Center. Swing and a miss, strikes out Thomas. There's 8 strikeouts for Daisuke.
Daisuke ties up Frank Thomas up and in. Of course, big guys like to get extended, and you try to pitch him inside. No contact that time. First time he has struck out Thomas tonight.
So 1 down here in the 6th inning. Troy Glaus has popped out to 2nd and singled to center. He has 1 of only 3 Toronto hits. Expect this Blue Jays team to hit. You look back over the last 7 losses for them, and right now they're not doing a great deal of anything pitching or hitting for the most part for the Blue Jays. You would think this lineup would be one thing they could rely on for the most part, but it's kind of been cold the last couple of days.
Well, that's what happens when you go in those long losing streaks. It seems like nothing goes right. Your pitching falls apart. You're not swinging the bat. You're not driving in men with runners in scoring position. Everybody has a tendency to press a little bit. I'm sure they're doing some of that. And when you look at it, last night they were out of the game very early after about 3 innings. It's tough to play that way.
Well, the 7 losses, they've averaged 3.5 runs a game as Matsuzaka picks it. That's one thing I think we found out this year, is that he can definitely field his position.
Yeah, he can. And, like anything else over in Japan, they work hard at all phases of their game. And they take fielding their position just as serious as striking somebody out. Fortunately for Matsuzaka, he does get a high bounce, which was very helpful for a pitcher. Much difficult to go down on that mound to make a play.
Two down for Lyle Overbay. To right, down the line, and gone. Overbay, and a line drive home run, hits his 4th home run of the year. And the Blue Jays are on the board. It's now 6-1 Red Sox.
Well, the only pitch tonight that has not been consistent or good for Daisuke has been his changeup. And this will be a changeup for Matsuzaka that just stays up belt high, and a line shot home run by Overbay. Just doesn't have that good rotation on it tonight for some reason, and that's just very flat out over the plate, and Overbay jumps all over it. That's the only pitch he hasn't had going tonight.
It's the 3rd home run that Matsuzaka has allowed on the season. As Aaron Hill takes a strike over the outside corner, 1-1.
That one was a little bit better right there, a little bit more tumble to it.
Swing and a miss, 2-2. Now the home run in his first outing to David DeJesus of the Kansas City Royals. Short right, and Drew wandering in. Hill is gone, and so are the Blue Jays. Lyle Overbay gets Toronto on the board, but it's 6-1 Boston.
Stay tuned after the game for WB Mason's Extra Innings and Granite City Electric Extra Innings Extra with Sean Caron and Ken Maka. They'll bring you a breakdown of the key plays from tonight's game, and you'll get all the post-game reaction from the Red Sox clubhouse, plus Daisuke's live press conference. It's all right after the game in high definition on NESN.
Let's set it down to Tina Cervasio. Tina?
So how does it look, Don, Jerry, the Zaka-san headband?
Nice.
Good?
Much nicer on you than on us.
There's a lot of hair going on, so I had to put it underneath my hair. But while I have this on, I'm going to talk about the other Japanese pitcher, Hideki Okajima. Now, as you know, Jerry, you talked about this a couple of games ago. Gary Tuck has named his changeup the Okie Dokie. And Okajima is absolutely embracing this because, of course, we know that Matsuzaka, so to speak, has the gyro ball. Well, now Okajima has his own pitch known as the Okie Dokie, and I was talking to one of the scouts that are here to watch the game today, and he says that that lefty out of the bullpen has some nasty stuff, and he's contributing to why the Red Sox have one of the best pitching staffs in the league right now.
Okie Dokie. As Josh Towers is now in for Toronto.
Well, I must say, Don, that she wears the headband much, much better than you do.
Thanks.
Or I. Actually looks very nice, and it matches her outfit.
Roll crushes this. Down the left field line, but foul. The league leaders are brought to you by Olympia Sports. And since 2004, Mike Roll with 136 doubles. Roberts Overbay of the Blue Jays with 142, and Todd Helton leading the way with 143. The breaking ball in there for a strike.
Josh Towers out of the starting rotation. He made 4 starts during the season, and it was 1-3 with an ERA close to 5.
Back to Towers, off of his glove. Hill at second base. And it's time to get Lowell, and does, for the first out of the 7th inning.
Well, we were talking about Manny and some of the funny things that have happened to me back in '04 when he cut off that Johnny Damon relay on a great play, diving to his left. I think he just reacted. I mean, he saw a ball coming in his direction. He just dove for it. So that throw went about 10 feet before Manny cut it off on a great defensive play.
Outstanding, left his feet.
I'll tell you what, one thing about Manny, you know, he's a hard-working guy, and people don't, you know, obviously he doesn't talk to the media, so you don't know a lot about him. I was this morning at, and I've seen this many, many times on the road. I was at a health club this morning about a quarter of a mile up the street from the hotel. He was in there, Alex Cora, Mike Lowell, David Page, who was, of course, the strength and conditioning coach. 4 or 5 guys going through a pretty tough workout, you know, on a game day. And that's the difference in baseball today than in the past. I mean, these guys stay in shape all year long. Where at that time of day, most of us would be sleeping years ago. Not thinking about, you know, doing anything with weights or anything.
Varitek strikes out, and there's 2 down here in the 7th inning. So you did not work out in the mornings prior to a game?
No, I did not. No, I mostly slept till about 11, had a little breakfast, and then usually off to the ballpark. But this has become a regular thing for players, not only at home, but now on the road, you know, where they go out in the morning and they get a lot of their work in, weight work, stretching, stuff like that. And it's kind of funny when you go to some of these clubs on the road because, you know, people look and they go, that's the Red Sox, isn't it? Some of the isn't that Manny Ramirez? You know, and it's kind of weird to see, but you got to give him credit.
Linsky with a swing and a miss. Linsky tonight has walked and struck out twice. I think that's one of the misconceptions over the years too, is that Manny is a guy that is, and certainly his talent is natural and something that he's been blessed with, but no, he works very hard at hitting as well.
He's got great talent, there's no question about that, but he also works very hard at his craft, you know, not only by keeping himself in shape, but the work that he does in the batting cage, the video that he watches.
Diving play by Overbay. Towers covers, and a good inning of relief for Josh Towers. 7th inning stretch from Toronto at 6-1 Red Sox. Boston Red Sox baseball in Nesson is brought to you by Rico, Acura, and by LP Weatherbed. 6-1, the Red Sox on top as we head to the last half of the 7th inning. Sal Fasano leads it off for the Blue Jays. As Daisuke misses inside. Fasano has struck out twice tonight, once looking in the 2nd inning and once swinging in the 5th inning. Only blemish so far tonight for Daisuke. A home run by Lyle Overbay last inning. Nearing the 100-pitch plateau as he starts things here in the 7th inning. To third base and picked in the air by Mike Lowell for the first out of the inning.
How about that? A little bow from Daisuke after Mike Lowell makes the catch just before it hits that artificial surface. And here's the thank you from Matsuzaka. Everybody likes good defense.
John McDonald, the batter, struck out and grounded out. In the first outing here at Toronto, Daisuke went 6 innings. And tonight pitching in the 7th inning with 1 down. That brief spell of wildness in the 4th inning of that outing against Toronto. 3 walks in the inning and turned into a 2-run 4th inning, including a free pass to Greg Zahn with the bases loaded that scored Frank Thomas. And we've seen it a couple of times since then. Lugo picks it up and fires the first 2 down. But we have not seen it tonight for any extended period of time where he has walked a few in a row and all of a sudden seems to lose it. It has not happened to him tonight through 6 2/3.
No, and whatever he had done between starts, to do the same thing next time, because whatever it is, it worked for him tonight. The only pitches I've mentioned a few times that he has not had control of tonight is that changeup, but all his other pitches, his fastball, his curveball, his cutter, and his slider have been excellent. So when you got that many weapons to go to, if you don't have one of them, you still can be effective, as he's been tonight.
The pen is busy behind him as Brendan Donnelly is alongside Hideki Okajima. Alex Rios has been a problem for him tonight as he sends it to right, falling fast and in for his 3rd hit of the night. Rios has a single, a walk, a double, and now a single.
Now Rios, who was 1 for 2 last night, now 3 for 3 in this game tonight, actually gets jammed a little bit on this fastball, but still able to fight it off for the base hit in front of J.D. Drew. Rios is just one good player.
So 2 down here in the bottom of the 7th inning, and here's Adam Lynn.
You know, we've mentioned Reid Johnson a couple of times, a guy who would probably lead off for most occasions when he's playing, and that of course would slide Rios down in a lower spot in the batting order, which would, I think, make them a better lineup. Well, there's a good changeup right there. Either the changeup or a splitter from Daisuke, probably the best one he's thrown tonight. That really tumbled.
The Blue Jays have been without Reid Johnson, who you mentioned, now on the 60-day DL after having surgery on his lower back. And they've been without him since April the 13th, so pretty much right out of the gate. In the air to shallow left. Manny in a few steps. Makes the catch that ends the inning. We played 7. It's Boston on top 6-1. Time for a Sports Desk update with Hazel May. And it's Dustin Pedroia who has 2 more hits tonight. He's 2 for 3 in the game. Towers had a 1-2-3 inning in the 7th inning, his first inning of relief, and back out there for the 8th.
Very quickly, he's taken that average up to 270 now. Pedroia with the 2 hits tonight.
Towards right field, and Rios makes the catch for the first out.
Now between innings, Terry Francona letting Daisuke know that his night is finished, and telling him also not to visit the CN Tower.
Lugo to right field. Rios with a run towards the line. He's been busy, and he handles the first 2 outs of the inning.
Time now for the Panasonic Plasma replay, so you can catch this again in crisp, rich detail motion. And it's the Manny Ramirez home run in the 6th inning. Manny's 6th on the season. Picks up his 19th run batted in for the Speed of Sports Panasonic Plasma.
2 down here in the 8th inning, and Coco Crisp the batter. In the center field, a base hit, and Coco's first hit of the night. Red Sox now to double figures in hits. That's their 10th of the contest, and they're out hitting Toronto 10-5. Here's Big Papi, who's got 3 of those hits. And 3 for 4 night. On the hands and foul back. Red Sox and Blue Jays playing 18 times this season. And each team so far in the first 6 games has won 3. Toronto had swept that brief 2-game series at Fenway Park in the last homestand. And the Red Sox win the first one of this series, and on top here tonight, 6-1. Two clubs will not meet again until a 4-game series right after the All-Star break.
And we don't come back here until what, September?
September. To David Ortiz with 2 outs here in the top half of the 8th. Coco Crisp at first base. Being held on over there by Lyle Overbay. Ortiz pops it up. Fasano with a long run. Can't make the catch, but a pretty good bid by Fasano.
Yeah, heck of an effort there by Sal Fasano. He's the only guy that had a chance because they got the shift on, so Glass couldn't get there, and Fasano hustling as hard as he can to try to make a play. Not easy. Bouncing out of that catch is Crouch. Does not have good speed, but makes a heck of an effort to try to make a catch on that.
So another chance for David Ortiz. $21,784 on hand tonight. 21,784. Not the crowd that was here last night, but still a pretty good crowd on hand tonight. There goes Crisp as Ortiz takes ball 3. The throw down is going to kick into right center. So Coco just keeps on going.
Well, there's nobody at third base. You know, once that ball gets by, it's Troy Glass covering second base because they have the shift on. So third base is wide open. Towers tries to get over there, but they had no chance to get Coco Crisp. So he picks up a stolen base, number 6 on the season, and will go to third base on the error by Sal Fasano on the throw.
So another run just 90 feet away for Boston with 2 outs in the inning and a full count now to Ortiz. Ramirez waiting on deck. The 3-2 pitch to Big Papi. In the air to right field. Rios back looking up, and it is gone. A 2-run home run for David Ortiz. His 9th home run of the year. And it puts the Red Sox on top 8-1.
Now the home run has been a major part of the Red Sox offense up here in Toronto in the first 2 games of this series. Ortiz with a fastball above the belt and a line shot very similar to the one Overbay hit. So both Ortiz and Ramirez with home runs in this game. Lugo with the home run.
Well, the Red Sox with 4 home runs last night, 3 tonight, so 7 in the 2 games so far. And for David, his 6th road home run of the year. Which last year he had 32 road home runs, which tied the American League record. And his 6th of this year away from Fenway Park, a 2-run shot this time. As the Red Sox on top 8-1. On the ground at Aaron Hill. And the Red Sox are gone in the 8th, but now lead it 8-1.
Stay tuned after the game for WB Mason Extra Innings with Tom Caron and Ken Maka. You'll get the breakdown of Daisuke Matsuzaka's start tonight and his live post-game press conference. Plus highlights from around the majors, including the Yankees hosting the Texas Rangers. It's all right after the game in high definition on NESN. Well, last time Daisuke faced the Blue Jays, he had 10 strikeouts, 8 in the game tonight, and he had it all going on. Fastballs for strikeouts. As you see right there, the first 2, he's cut fastballs and sliders for strikeouts. Not a lot of guys looking at that fastball tonight. Cut it right there to Hill. Will strike him out. Got him a couple of times in the ball game. Top-notch performance tonight by Daisuke Matsuzaka.
No defensive change for the Red Sox as we move along to the bottom of the 8th inning. Willie Mo Pena now in left for Manny Ramirez. And as Daisuke departs, Brendan Donnelly's now in the game for Boston.
13th appearance for Donnelly, a 1-1 record on the season. 8 2/3, 4 hits, 1 earned run. Last time Donnelly worked was in that series at Minnesota. That was on the 4th of May, a third of an inning in that ball game.
Vernon Wells had a chance earlier in the game with runners at first and second and 2 down. He was a tying run at the time in the 5th inning against Daisuke, and Matsuzaka got him to fly out to right field. And then the Red Sox came right back and were able to score 3 times in the top half of the 6th inning to open the gap. Wells tonight 0 for 3 will be followed by Frank Thomas and Troy Glaus here in the bottom of the 8th. Wall able to get it on the ricochet. And tossed it back into the crowd. Swing and a miss for Wells, who strikes out to begin things here in the bottom of the 8th. Red Sox pitching, that's the 9th strikeout of the night.
And Donnelly now with 7 strikeouts in 9 innings for him so far this season. Just threw that fastball right by Vernon Wells.
So 1 down here in the 8th, and it brings up Frank Thomas. Walked in the first, since then he's grounded out and struck out. Daisuke tonight going 7 innings, giving up 5 hits, 1 run. He walked 3 and struck out 8. And he only run the home run by Lyle Overbay in the 6th inning. Now a pop-up. Eric Kinski. And there's 2 down in the 8th.
Well, tomorrow night at 6, Olympia Sports presents the Boston Globe pregame show with John Caron and Ken Mocker. On our Face the Nation segment, Sox manager Terry Francona will make his weekly visit, plus a preview of the series finale tomorrow night as the Red Sox face Roy Halladay for the 3rd time this season. It's all tomorrow night at 6 in high definition, and it's only on NESN.
2 down in the inning as Halladay will be ready to go tomorrow night. He is 4-1. He'll be matched up against Tim Wakefield, who's 3-3. Final game of the road trip for the Red Sox. Troy Glaus pops it up third base way. Lowell will extend into foul crowd. And make the catch. It's a 1-2-3-8 for Brendan Donnelly. We head for the 9th. It's 8-1 Boston. Top half of the ninth inning, J.D. Drew leading it off for the Red Sox against Josh Towers, who's out there for his third inning of relief. J.D. tonight has walked twice and struck out twice. Towers had a 1-2-3 seventh inning as he got Lowell, Varitek, and Hinske, but then ran into a little bit of trouble in the eighth, giving up a 2-run home run to David Ortiz.
Boy, remember last year Towers got up to just a terrible start and ended up getting sent back to the minor leagues again this year, out of the rotation, back in the bullpen. Really tonight in kind of a mop-up role.
Drew grounds it foul outside of first. Towers 30 years old. And now with Toronto for the last 5 seasons. Came up through the Baltimore Orioles organization. And last year, as you pointed out, was really his toughest year in the majors. 2-10 with an 8.42 earned run average. 12 starts.
Didn't he start out something like 0-7 or something?
Yeah. He got optioned in the middle of May to Syracuse, May 24th. And then got called back up in September.
Now, J.D. Drew is one guy that has not been able to enjoy the fun tonight. Still does not have a hit in the game. 0 for 2, couple of walks. He's been struggling, trying to get back on the right track.
So first, Overbay will flip to Towers for the first out of the inning. This game summary is brought to you by your local Lincoln Mercury dealers. Red Sox hit 4 home runs last night. They hit 3 of them tonight. And everybody get into the act. Julio Lugo, Manny, Ramirez, and most recently David Ortiz. For Lugo, his 2nd of the year. For Manny, his 6th, and for Ortiz, his 9th home run of the year. And quite a night for Daisuke. 7 innings, giving up just the 1 run, the home run to Lyle Overbay in the 6th inning. If you want to tune in for Daisuke Matsuzaka's live press conference after the game, hits it high and deep to left. Lind headed back at the track, at the wall. It is gone. The 4th Boston home run of the night, the 6th of the year for Mike Lowell, and a 9-1 Red Sox lead.
Well, a lot of Red Sox players with big offensive nights, including Mike Lowell. 3 for 4 on the night, a double, a single, and now the home run on a hanging breaking ball, a hanging slider from Towers. And Lowell with another home run. So 4 home runs last night, 4 tonight for the Red Sox.
Tech golfing it foul off to the left. Well, the Red Sox certainly have enjoyed their time this season here at Rogers Center. 5 games at Rogers Center, 13 home runs, and 8 in the last 2 days. In center field, Wells is there to retire Varitek for the 2nd out of the inning. Two-way, and it'll bring up Eric Hinske.
Spike Lowell, part of that home run barrage last night for the Red Sox. Banging another one tonight.
Hinske. It's a fly ball down the left field line. Lind over towards the seats, makes the catch in fair ground. Not a lot of room down there, but he makes the grab that ends the inning. Mike Lowell hits a home run that has the Red Sox on top 9-1.
Toyota's 50th anniversary.
right back.
Auto Trader. Coors Light. The New England Dodge Dealers. And by Southwest Airlines. 9-1, Red Sox on top, and it's time now for the fan of the game, brought to you by Pepsi. A friend from earlier has a very creative way of doing the sign. Dover, New Hampshire.
Once she gets back tonight, she can put that back on the pillow and sleep on it.
Well, we head to the last half of the ninth inning. A new pitcher on for the Red Sox as Joel Pinheiro is greeted. A drive to center by Lyle Overbay that is gone. So a rather rude way for Pinheiro to be greeted to the game. Second home run tonight for Lyle Overbay.
Well, Overbay has been the offense tonight for the Blue Jays. 2 home runs, one off Daisuke on a changeup, gets the fastball from Pinheiro, and gives him a total now of 5 on the season. He pulled the one against Matsuzaka. This one is straight away center field over that 400-foot sign.
Well, the first multi-home run effort of the season for Toronto. Aaron Hill taking the strike. He is 0 for 3 tonight. He has struck out twice and fly to right. Well, the Blue Jays with 2 home runs. The Red Sox with 4 home runs.
Last time Pinheiro worked was against the Twins in that series over the weekend. 2-inning form the last time out. No hits, no runs.
Well, Hill puts a charge into this to right field. Back goes Drew, still going, and that's going to one-hop the wall. Drew plays the carambit to second base. With a double goes Aaron Hill. And right now the Blue Jays putting together some pretty good swings against Joel Pinheiro. Sal Fasano 0 for 3 tonight. Struck out twice against Daisuke and lined out to third. Jonathan Papelbon is up in the Red Sox pen. On the count to Fasano. They're falling behind. They're actually evening up now, 1-1. First pitch he threw, Lyle Overbay hit a home run, then a double for Aaron Hill. Two and one. Fasano began the year at AAA with Syracuse. And called up, of course, when Zahn went on the disabled list.
Was it last year that Fasano was in Philadelphia?
I think it was 2 years ago. Oh, no, you're right. He started last year with the Phillies because we saw him at the end of spring training.
And then he ended up with the Yankees.
Yep. He had Sal's pals out there in right field at Citizens Bank Park. To left down the line and foul. Two and two, the count to Sal Fasano. Strike three call. First strikeout for Joel Pinheiro, and the first out of the ninth.
And the third time Fasano has struck out in this ball game tonight, all 3 times on a fastball.
That was the 10th strikeout for Red Sox pitching. Daisuke had 8. Brendan Donnelly strikeout, and now Joel Pinheiro. John McDonald grounds it left side. Lugo will go to first, and there's 2 down. To third base goes Aaron Hill, but 2 outs now in the ninth.
Yeah, had this been a close game, Lugo probably would have gone to third base to get Aaron Hill going on that ball to the left side of the infield. But of course, with the big score the way it is, Lugo just trying to get outs. Made sure of the one at first base.
So 2 down here in the ninth, and Alex Rios has had a fantastic game. He has singled, walked, doubled, and singled. Been on base 4 times in the game tonight.
Let's make sure you stay with us after the game. Tom Caron, Ken Marker, complete post-game reaction. Terry's take with Tina Savasio, and of course we'll have the live press conference with Daisuke. I always enjoy going to that, Don, after the ball game.
I noticed that you don't ask a lot of questions, though. You kind of leave that to everybody else.
I kind of like the reaction. I like the interplay between the media and, of course, the translation. It takes a while. It's time-consuming, but I find it very informative, and I enjoy it. It's really the only press conference I go to. I enjoy those.
You go to Terry's, too.
And before the game,
right. Yeah. Rios lines it to right field, a base hit. Aaron Hill from third base scores the 3rd Toronto run, and what a night for Alex Rios. 4 for 4 with a walk in the game. Has been on base 5 times and knocks in his 20th run of the season.
Yeah, it's been all Rios and all over Bay in this game for the Toronto Blue Jays tonight. That's been it. But what a night from the leadoff spot, as Don mentioned. On base every single time, 5 times, a walk included. So he's 4 for 4 with an RBI. The RBI gives him 20 now on the season.
And a foul tip by Lynn. And 0-for-3 tonight with a walk in the 5th inning. Rios takes off for second.
You know what I might do tonight in that press conference with Daisuke to make it more complicated? I may ask my question in Spanish.
That would mess a few things up.
And then they would have to translate it into Japanese, and then Japanese to Daisuke, back in Japanese, back to English, and then back to Spanish.
You may
so
hold
this
up
one question could last like 7 minutes.
You should make it a really long question, too. Swing and a miss for Adam Lind, who bats with 2 outs. Rios to second base on the defensive indifference. I think you should wear your headband too to the press conference.
Oh, absolutely.
Swing and a miss, and the Red Sox take the first 2 games of this 3-game series against the Toronto Blue Jays, and they do it behind good pitching and good offense again tonight as they win this one 9-3 and take the second game of the series. WB Mason's extra innings is right around the corner, so stay with us. Jerry and I'll be back here at Rogers Center in Toronto right after this.